On day 1, I spawned into the Baobab Savannah as the mighty Electric Tiger. Well, at least a baby version of an electric tiger. But if I work hard and train, I can live fully up to my electric tiger potential.
Oh no you won't.
I looked in front of me and saw a massive, hulking squall golem thundering towards me. He was so much bigger than me, the size difference was terrifying. Listen, mister, I don't want any trouble. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
My name's Mike, and I'm here to fight.
But why? That doesn't even rhyme.
Yes, it does. If I say it rhymes, it rhymes. I'm the strongest creature in the world. Nothing challenges me anymore, and the only way to relieve the boredom is getting into fights with anyone I can.
But
No buts, weakling, or I'll kick yours. Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you 100 days. You better use them well, kid, and get as strong as possible. Strong enough to have an interesting fight with me. 'Cause if you don't, I'm gonna find you and pound you until you're nothing more than a little electric tiger stain in the floor. Now run.
Mike the Squall Golem didn't have to tell me twice. I turned and ran away as quickly as possible, while Mike just laughed at me. He seemed like my most formidable opponent yet. 100 days. I need to get real strong in that time, or Mike really is gonna destroy me. On day 2, I continued running through the Baobab Savannah, not stopping until I was confident that Mike the Squall Golem was nowhere to be seen. Phew, that was a close one. If he'd attacked me in that state, I would have been a goner. I only have 10 hearts. I wonder if I have any special abilities. Without even realizing I could, I released a blast of electrical energy from my paw. The electricity is eliminated from me and charges up the air around me. That must have been one of my basic electric tiger abilities. Whoa, maybe I'm not as helpless as I thought. Wait, do I see a pear tree there? I should grab one. I grabbed a few pears and ate them. Even if my hunger was full, I just couldn't resist it. Things were looking up already. At least I wasn't gonna be hungry. But my contentment didn't last for long. A scary plant-like whisperer rustled its way towards me. It wasn't as big as Mike, but it was definitely freaky. Oh no, I have a feeling I know who you work for.
You feel correctly, Zozo. You really think you can beat Mike? He's the GOAT.
Goat? He's a squall golem.
No, GOAT is an acronym. He is the greatest of all time. GOAT. And that's why you've got no hope against him.
Then why even bother coming after me? I didn't even want to fight.
I'm gonna destroy you myself to save Mike his time.
As the whisperer approached me, I fired my energy blast, but it didn't even slow him down. All I could do was run away, knowing that even with my energy blast, I had no hope of fighting him. I was hiding behind a small clutch of trees when suddenly a wind caller teleported in front of me.
Come with me if you want to live.
Sure, let's go. I'll follow you.
Wow, people normally have questions. Let's go.
The wind caller ran off, and I followed him without question, happy to finally have someone on my side. On day 3, I continued following the wind caller deeper into the Baobab Savannah. He seemed to have confidence and power. It definitely made me feel safer around him.
I've been waiting for you to arrive, Zozo. You have no idea how many people have anticipated this special day.
Special? This doesn't feel that special, aside from you saving my life from all the weird creeps who have been trying to attack me.
Those weird creeps, as you aptly put it, have been bothering people for quite some time. But if you stick with me and my allies, we might be able to change that together.
The wind caller led me to a small shack, leaving me to talk to its inhabitant, a mysterious figure called the Illusioner.
So, you are the one the wind caller selected, You don't appear all that strong, but perhaps that will change.
I still don't understand what's happening here. Who are all of you people? And what does any of this have to do with me or that nasty squall golem Mike?
Windcaller and I are just 2 members of a secret group called the Order of the Shield. For years, we have made it our purpose to find and train a champion capable of destroying Mike and ending his reign of terror. If you accept this responsibility, we will do all we can to help you realize your destiny.
Well, seeing as Mike is gonna come after me anyway, I agree to working with you.
Good. Go with Windcaller. There is no time to waste. You must get strong enough to defeat Mike once and for all.
From day 4 to day 5, the wind caller and I went deeper into the Baobab Savannah. We didn't stop until we found an area that was big and flat enough to start constructing a base. First, I knocked down a tree and used its resources to construct a wooden pickaxe. I then mined into the ground and collected enough stone to create my first set of real tools, a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. From there, I gathered more stone and granite and made a basic base with a bed for myself and another one for the wind caller to stay in with me.
You've done great work here, Zozo. You show promise. With time, you will become a great warrior, capable of taking on Mike and showing him what we are all capable of.
I want to get stronger, wind caller, but I'm not sure where to start. How can I become more powerful?
I can help you with that, Zozo. I'll give you a portion of my power, and that will give you a foundation to build on. Stay still, please.
The wind caller fired and energy blasted me. The second it hit me, I started growing, becoming bigger, and had the ability to summon lightning strikes. I tried it out on some grass, and it was fantastic. Wow, I'm really starting to live up to my electric tiger name now. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to explore a new part of the savannah and test out my new powers for real. Energy blasts and lightning strikes. I'm a force to be reckoned with. And those powers would soon come in handy because I saw an innocent fungus thrower being attacked by that nasty whisperer who had attacked me earlier. I'm not gonna let this stand. As I ran in, the whisperer's attention was turned to me and the fungus thrower was able to escape. It was just me and my old enemy now. Hey, you ugly plant.
You again? I didn't expect to see you after you ran off like a coward last time.
I'm no coward, whisperer, and I'm about to prove it.
Talk is cheap, tiger boy. Let's go.
I unleashed a powerful lightning strike on the whisperer, and this time it was completely destroyed. My electric tiger powers were coming in clutch already. Yo, fungus thrower, it's safe to come out now. I'm friendly, I promise. When I found him on the beach, the poor lad was shivering from fear.
Dude, that was scary, but also amazing. I thought I was a goner, and then you came in like a superhero, like bam, zow, kapow. It was awesome.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I guess it was pretty awesome.
You're real good at this whole fighting bad guys thing, dude. Tell you what, I know there's a real nasty bad guy not far from here. Follow me. Let's see if you can beat him.
Sure, it couldn't hurt to try. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the fungus thrower into the bamboo jungle until we reached a clearing. There, a freaky frozen zombie was waiting. Yikes, that thing seems unpleasant, but a promise is a promise. I ran in and unleashed a lightning strike against the frozen zombie, but it didn't seem to do anything other than annoy this particularly frosty member of the living dead. The frozen zombie chased me, and all I could do was run away as fast as I could. When I'd managed to lose the frozen zombie, I rendezvoused with the fungus thrower again. I'm really sorry for letting you down on this one, man, but I just don't think I'm strong enough to take down that frozen zombie yet.
It's chill, dude. You did your best, and that's what matters.
Tell you what, why don't you come and stay at my base while I get stronger? You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to hang out with you some more.
Oh, you're too sweet, man. Let's do it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the fungus thrower. It was exciting to have another friend added to my team. Fungus thrower left to relax while I built a new room for him, along with the rooms for me and the wind caller. What do you think, buddy?
This looks awesome, Zozo! I can't wait to hang out here! And hey, I got a little restless while you were building the bedroom, so I built a couple of upgrades of my own. Go take a look!
The upgrades that the fungus thrower had created were truly awesome. He'd made a beautiful path connecting all the buildings and a storage room for the base, with a furnace that I could use to smelt and forge metal. Say, that gives me an idea. I searched until I found a cave that might contain some valuable materials, and sure enough, right at the entrance, I found a rich vein of iron ore. I mined and collected a bunch of it before going back to my base. Once I was there, I used my furnace to smelt the ore into ingots. Then I made a full set of iron tools. I still had a little left over, so I used that to make an iron helmet and a chest plate. This looks awesome! So I've got shelter and weaponry covered. Now, I need to make sure my food sources are sustainable too. I built a small chicken farm on my base and herded a few chickens inside, so I'd never run out of eggs or yummy chicken. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to my mentor, the wind caller, and asked him if he knew any other ways I could train and get stronger.
A very good question, Zozo. To become a better fighter, you need to fight and hone your battle tactics. I've heard reports of another one of those sinister whisperers wandering around the bamboo jungle. Go out there and defeat it to grow your strength.
Because everything Wind Caller had said so far hadn't led me astray, I followed his advice and went out to the bamboo jungle again. I searched until I found the whisperer that Wind Caller had told me about.
I will destroy you in the name of Mike.
Not if I destroy you first, whisperer. With my new iron sword, it wasn't hard to battle the Whisperer into submission. When the Whisperer was destroyed, it dropped a potion of strength onto the ground. Perfect timing! I was starting to feel super thirsty. I picked up the potion of strength and drank it, and I felt the change immediately. I started to get bigger, stronger, and my hearts grew to 30. The wind caller was right. Fighting that Whisperer did make me stronger. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the overworld until I came upon the Cypress Swamplands. It was a strange, mystical place, and the more I wandered around, the more I got the sense that something important was waiting for me here. And that feeling proved to be right when I came upon an ancient book of secrets laying around. I decided that it might be worth reading, so I flipped through until I found a section called How to Defeat Squall Golems. Wow, that's appropriate. A section read, the stony flesh of a squall golem may seem impenetrable. Even diamond swords and the strongest of arrows just seem to bounce off. But if one could obtain a sword of netherite, then the playing field would be evened. A netherite sword? I need to get my hands on one of those then. My moment of victory was interrupted by a pair of Whisperers suddenly appearing and wandering towards me. They must have come here to stop me from reading this book of secrets. You overgrown weeds can't scare me! With my lightning strikes and energy blasts, the 3 Whisperers were destroyed for good! From day 20 to day 22, knowing that I needed a netherite sword to truly defeat Mike the Squall Golem, I went back to the mining cave looking for more material. Sadly, I couldn't find any diamonds or netherite down there, just more iron ore. I mined a bunch of it and went back to my base where I smelted it into ingots and made myself the rest of my iron armor. If you can't invest in your attacks, you might as well invest in your defense. My recent increase in strength reminded me of an old unsettled score. I needed to defeat the frozen zombie for my friend the fungus thrower. Time to send that zombie to its eternal resting place. I returned to the bamboo jungle and hunted down the frozen zombie that had given me trouble all those days ago. With my iron sword, I was able to defeat the nasty undead once and for all. It probably won't be long before I'm strong enough to take on Mike and win.
I wouldn't be so sure, weakling.
I turned and saw Mike himself was standing right behind me. I wanted to run, but this time I stood my ground. I'm not scared of you anymore, Mike. I know the secret. I just need to get my hands on a netherite sword. I'm a champion of the Order of the Shield. What's so funny?
You think you're the first champion? You think you're the only one who knows about netherite swords? I've destroyed 100 foolish champions like you, and you'll make it 101.
Mike punched me, taking off a frightening number of hearts. All I could do was run for my life. I was clearly still not strong enough to face him yet. From day 23 to day 26, I went back to my base and informed the fungus thrower that I defeated the frozen zombie of the bamboo forest. Way to go, Zozo! You've no doubt achieved a whole new level of strength from that battle. And I plan to get even stronger now that I was able to fulfill my promise to you. Oh yeah, buddy, I know you can. I knew that I needed stronger materials in my inventory if I really wanted to work my way up to that netherite sword, so I went digging for more iron in my mining cave. While there were still no diamonds to be found, the iron ore was plentiful. I helped myself to as much of the iron as I could carry and smelted a bunch of it down into some more ingots. I made a temporary smelting location to smelt the iron while I mined. I already had a set of iron tools and armor, so out of all the iron, I made an anvil, so we can repair our gear when it loses durability. My pickaxe can be the first candidate to get repaired. Once I was done mining, I went above ground to my base where Windcaller was waiting for me.
Zozo, I've given the base a new addition that will be sure to keep you safe while you build up your strength.
That sure is nice of you.
Consider it my thanks for all the hard work you've put in so far.
I went to see what the Windcaller had added to the base and found a well-constructed security bunker to hide in case of invasion. This looks like it will come in handy. From day 27 to day 31, I was far away from the base, exploring the Cypress Swamplands when I had first learned about the existence of netherite swords. If I remember my last visit correctly, I also defeated a couple of Whisperers while I was here. The whole area looked totally peaceful now, without any of Mike's minions to be seen. As I was taking in the pleasant vibes, I was approached by a kindly Fletcher, who seemed rather happy that the swamplands were free of baddies.
Wowee zowie! You must be Zozo the Electric Tiger. I heard you took down those Whisperers some days ago.
That's me. I'm the toughest and only electric tiger around.
That's wicked awesome. It's good to know that there are people out there looking for strength who are also nice and willing to stand up for the weak.
I will do my best to help those in need.
I heard there were some other Whisperers skulking around and looking to challenge you. They must really want to stand up for that Mike guy.
I can take them. Do you know where they are?
Not right now, but they'd probably hunt me down and try to beat me up if they knew I told you that. Then they'd be right here in the swamp again.
I know. What if you stayed at my base for a while? At least until I have my match with Mike. That way, I can protect you. The Fletcher agreed, and together we went back to my base where I added a base extension. I made a small outdoors library with a few couches to have a nice cozy place to relax. The books that I put on the shelves would teach me strategies and techniques for winning battles. Because knowledge is power. Later, I was approached by Windcaller, who had some bad news.
Zozo, we have to come with you again. Mike's minions have discovered the Order of the Shield and are attacking its members. We need to check on the Illusioner before he could be next.
Oh no, that sounds serious. Let's go! From day 32 to day 35, Windcaller and I crossed the Baobab Savannah to reach the Illusioner's shack. When we found the place, it was too late. The shack was under attack by a Whisperer, and the Illusioner was desperately fighting for his life.
You Order of the Shield fools can't win! Mike makes right! The saying is might makes right. What you said is just silly. You're calling us silly? Just for that, you're going to die.
The Whisperer destroyed the Illusioner right before our eyes! You monsters!
Talk about pathetic. Is this all the Order of the Shield is made of?
You're dead wrong. I'm Zozo, the Electric Tiger. I am the champion, and I'll show you how strong I am. I called down a lightning strike, getting the Whisperer's attention and dealing a bunch of damage in the process. With a few swings of my iron sword, I made that Whisperer pay for what it did to the Illusioner. More Whisperers emerged from the edges. I was so angry, I didn't even need to use my energy blasts to bring the pain and take them all down. When the battle was over, Windcaller and I planned what our next move would be.
We need to be on the lookout for any other mobs that are working for Mike.
Curse him! We were too late to save the Illusioner from his rampage!
We'll keep an eye out for the other surviving members of the Order of the Shield, and once we're together, we'll help you become the strongest champion you can be.
From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the bamboo jungle so I could practice all my most powerful fighting moves in a safe place where none of my friends would get hurt. I was tossing around Energy Blast when I blasted away some bamboo and found an iron golem hiding nearby.
Whoa, easy with those blasts. You could knock somebody out with those.
My apologies, I didn't know you were here. Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually have been searching for someone strong enough to defeat the ruthless roaming Ravager.
If it's a worthy opponent that gives me a chance to test my skills, then I'm 100% game. Where is this Ravager anyway?
I'll show the way, almighty Electric Tiger.
I was brought to another part of the bamboo forest where the ruthless roaming Ravager was running around. It was my time to bring that bad boy down. I fired some energy blasts from my paws, and the Ravager responded by jumping over to me and making a few attacks. I countered with my iron sword. The battle raged on for a while, but I knew from the start I would come out on top. And I was right! I returned to the Iron Golem to tell him that I had successfully defeated that rascally Ravager.
Ha! You really are one tough tiger.
That's for sure. From day 40 to day 43, I was in the base and decided to see how the fungus thrower was doing. It looked like he had been hard at work decorating the base with all sorts of tiger-patterned banners and paintings. This base looks absolutely awesome now. Good job, Fungus.
I'm glad you like it. I was just sprucing the place up in preparation for the pigs I invited over.
You invited pigs?
Yep, I invited some pigs because I thought they might enjoy themselves here.
That's a bad pun, but not a bad idea. I say yes.
Fantastic! Fantastic!
The pigs that Fungus Thrower invited arrived soon after and were the life of the party. I even got to train my defenses against their classic pig pile technique. After entertaining our fine piggy guests for a while, I went for a walk out in the base and ran into Fletcher. Everything all right, Fletcher?
I'm worried about my home back in the Cypress Swamplands. Do you think you could go check on it just to be safe?
Sure, buddy. It's the least I can do for a friend. From day 44 to day 49, I went back to the Cypress Swamplands like Fletcher wanted me to. I was expecting there might be a few Whisperers milling about, but I never imagined that I'd see Mike himself.
What up, Tiger? Ready to take another shot at the big man?
Mike, this should be between you and me. What you did to the Order of the Shield was unforgivable.
Nah, no way. I've been beefing with those bozos since long before you showed up. And if you're the chosen champion they kept talking about, then I had to take them down before you become any stronger.
So you did it because you're afraid I'll get stronger than you? Well, now you've made sure it'll happen. I will beat you, Mike, one of these days.
You want to make this personal, huh? Alright, let's make it personal. See if you can take on my man, the Piglin Brute.
To my surprise, Mike ran off and stuck me fighting with one big mean mob that he called a Piglin Brute. It sure did live up to its name.
I'm about to show you why they call me the Piglin Brute. Because I'm brutal.
Yeah, I already got that.
Put up your dukes, Electric Tiger.
He slammed me with an attack that was definitely brutal, but thankfully, my iron helmet was able to soak up some of the damage. I traded blows using my sword and started to wear him down, but the knockback of his attacks was giving me some trouble. This will be a tough fight. From day 50 to day 53, I had started to use my energy blast to continue to deal damage to the Piglin Brute. He didn't show much signs of tiring, but then again, neither did I.
I can see why the Order of the Shield was impressed by you, but you can't really be the champion who will defeat Mike because I'm about to take you down.
Wouldn't bet on it, Brute. I launched a couple of strikes at the Brute, then I hit him with my sword and knocked him off balance so I could defeat him with some classic Electric Tiger Energy Blast. Bye-bye, Brute. You were my biggest and meanest opponent yet, but I've won this round. The Piglin Brute disappeared, and I soon found an item that he dropped. It was a map leading to Mike's Fight Club. This is quite a discovery. I didn't know whether Mike expected me to find this or not, but either way, this meant that I could go to his base whenever I wanted. From day 54 to day 57, I cleared the Cypress swamplands of all remaining hostile mobs so that Fletcher wouldn't have to worry anymore. The last one in the area was especially tough, a Vindicator who could take a lot of hits from my iron sword. I really had to stay on my guard the whole fight, relying on my new combat strategies that I had been practicing. Sure enough, I was able to win with plenty of hearts to spare. The Vindicator even dropped a netherite ingot, which was the first step to the netherite sword that I'd need to defeat Mike. I quickly returned to the base to tell Fletcher the good news.
So, the swamplands are safe?
They sure are.
You mean that you found a netherite ingot, just like that?
I sure did. That's some kind of coincidence, huh?
It's no coincidence, it's a sign. You are meant to be the champion of the Order of the Shield. It's your destiny.
Well, in that case, I better make the most of this chance and get some diamonds so we can eventually make a netherite sword.
You can do it, Zozo.
From day 58 to day 62, I made a much-needed expansion to the chicken farm so that it could hold more livestock. It was just in time, too, because I was able to round up more chickens for food. An Electric Tiger's gotta eat to keep his energy up, and delicious chicken tenders are what's on the menu. Next, I delved down to the mining cave to have another look for the diamonds I would need to craft a diamond sword. I had to explore pretty deep, but soon enough, I managed to get my pickaxe into some diamonds. There's many diamonds here. I might believe in destiny after all. I mined for a while and found more than enough diamonds to make the diamond sword, which I planned on using as the foundation for the netherite sword I'd be making later. I used the rest of the diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe and a full set of diamond armor for myself. Once I was satisfied with the amount of diamonds I had amassed, I returned to the surface of the base and met up with Windcaller. Hey, Windcaller, I've crafted a diamond sword.
That's excellent, Zozo. We should celebrate in the brand new super amazing party room that I just built.
Oh wow, no way! A party room! I love parties! While I had been down in the mines, Windcaller had given the base its most exciting feature yet, a decorated room for hosting parties. I tried out the dance floor and had a really good time. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at the base with Fungus Thrower, discussing ways for me to become even stronger. If I could train in a new location, maybe I'd be able to discover some new fighting moves. I actually know just the place. If you train in the harsh sunlight of the desert, you'll increase your strength in no time. How do I find the desert? I'll show you the way on your map. The Fungus Thrower marked the desert as a location on the map I received from the fallen Piglin Brute. It looked like it was on the way to the biome where Mike's Fight Club could be found. I should get used to that path while I'm out there. I went to the desert and felt the sun beating down on me. This would be a good place to train, and I was in the mood for a fight with a scary opponent. Across the dunes, I saw one scary-looking wither skeleton. I moved towards him with my sword drawn, ready for battle. Hey you, wanna fight Zozo the Electric Tiger?
No thank you. I don't want to fight, especially not a tough customer like you.
Okay, I can respect that. We won't fight.
Did you think just because I'm scary looking that I'd want to fight? You really shouldn't judge people by their outward appearances.
Yeah, that was my bad. I'm very sorry about that, friend. Lesson learned.
It happens to me a lot, I'm afraid. Just the other day, a Zoglin tried to pick a fight with me. I told him, no, wait for a strong person who wants to fight.
Well, if that Zoglin wants a fight, I'll fight him. I came here to train anyway. From day 67 to day 70, the friendly Wither Skeleton brought me to meet the Zoglin, a dangerous opponent who was also looking for a challenging fight. The Zoglin agreed to fight me one-on-one so we could test each other's strength. Before the fight began, the Wither Skeleton took me aside so we could have a quick discussion.
Are you sure you can win, Zozo? I didn't mean to put you in danger.
I think I've got a chance, but thanks for being concerned.
No, thank you for fighting this battle for me.
That's what a strong person does. Now I'm gonna go kick some Zoglin butt. The fight between myself and the Zoglin was off to an exciting start when the Zoglin charged straight at me. I dodged his powerful tusks and hit with my sword while his back was turned. The Zoglin countered by hitting me with his tusks. I lost a few hearts, but I was still in the fight. I fired some energy blasts and used my signature lightning strike to deliver the last blow, defeating the Zoglin.
Zozo, you did it!
I am the Electric Tiger Zozo! Remember the name! From day 71 to day 74, I had completely left the desert behind and was traveling through a new biome, the Eroded Badlands. According to the Piglin Brutes map, this was the same biome where the entrance to Mike's Fight Club could be found. The map also says you can find more of my Zozo videos by searching Zio in the YouTube search bar. You should try it out. I followed the directions on the map further into the Eroded Badlands, and I could see Mike's Fight Club in the distance. Just you wait, Mike. I'll fight you one of these days.
I heard that, Zozo.
Suddenly, Mike was right next to me, and he was looking as strong as ever.
You shouldn't have said that, Sparkplug. Now I'm gonna give you a taste of my super special punch, the Mike Spike.
Oh no, I forgot that today is one of those days.
Mike Spike!
He punched me, and my heart started to deplete. Thank goodness I was wearing diamond armor. I drew my diamond sword and swung at him, but the damage it did was really low.
You're still weak, kitty cat.
No way! Will I need a netherite sword to even stand a chance? I ran away from the fight, retracing my steps through the Eroded Badlands. I still wasn't strong enough to beat him. From day 75 to day 78, I followed the map home to my base and went directly into the bunker to work out. Somehow, I couldn't find the energy to train, probably because I was disappointed that I had to run away from Mike. Mike was the strongest in the world, and I still didn't have the netherite sword I would need to actually challenge him. From what he said before, even that might not be enough.
Cheer up, Zozo. You have our strength too, so don't give up.
It was Windcaller. He had come into the bunker to check on me and raise my spirits. Thanks, Windcaller. I'm feeling like I'm weak today, so I really needed to hear that.
Follow me. I'll show you something that might also help.
There was now a new watchtower at the front of the base where we could look out at the Baobab Savannah from. All of a sudden, I feel a whole lot better, Windcaller. Now I remember what I'm fighting for.
You are the champion, Electric Tiger Zozo. Don't forget it.
Now that I was feeling better, I went to go visit Fletcher. Hey there, Fletcher.
Zozo, I got you this special magic apple to help make you strong enough to face Mike.
Well, an apple a day, as they say. I scarfed down the apple and began to grow into an even bigger electric tiger with 60 hearts. In addition to bigger damage and more health, I could also perform a special whirlwind attack. Mike won't know what hit him. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling strong and decided to go back to the Eroded Badlands. This time, there was no sign of Mike, so I fought some skeletons to test my newfound strength. I wanted to prove to myself that I had what it takes to become the strongest. A nearby weaponsmith saw me defeat those mobs and thought that I was pretty cool, so he offered to upgrade my weapons. This is my chance to get a netherite sword.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just give me your diamond sword and your netherite ingots, and I'll take care of the rest.
I gave the weaponsmith what he needed and waited in anticipation for him to finish my super cool netherite sword. It didn't take him that long, and I could tell just by swinging it that this netherite sword was the most powerful weapon that I'd ever had. Thank you, weaponsmith. I promise to use what you've given me for the side of justice.
Go on and save the world. Every weaponsmith dreams of creating a hero's weapon.
From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the base to show the others that I had obtained the netherite sword and found that it was being attacked by whisperers.
So this is where you ran away to, coward? We're gonna make you feel real silly for leaving Mike in the middle of a fight.
I battled the Whisperers with all my might, testing the edge of my netherite sword. These minions had given me trouble in the past, but now I was so much stronger than them that they were barely a threat. I easily defended the base and prevented any further damage to the structures.
Oh man, this guy is actually way too strong. Maybe I should leave this one to Mike. He'll know how to win.
Intimidated by my strength, the Whisperers stopped fighting. It was now their turn to run away. Serves you right for trying to mess with my friends. You'll have to deal with this electric tiger now. I chased the Whisperers through the Baobab Savannah until my base was far away. Never come back! A villager who saw me bravely face off against Mike's henchmen came over to cheer me on.
You're the electric tiger, the second strongest being in the world.
Soon to be the most strongest, or first strongest, whichever sounds better.
Do you think you can spare some of your strength and give me a hand building a bridge over the river?
Sure thing, villager. I used the materials the villager gave me to finish building the bridge across the river.
Thanks, Zozo. Only a truly strong hero could do something like that.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued onward across the desert and through the eroded Badlands until I saw on the map I was getting close to Mike's arena. I could see one of the Whisperers who had attacked my base lingering nearby, and I drew my netherite sword in preparation for a battle. I'm here to see Mike. I'm going to challenge him for the title of strongest being in the world.
Oh, no you didn't. You're gonna need to get this guy first. He's the second strongest in the whole world.
An armored pillager showed up, taking the place of the Whisperer as my opponent.
I've heard people say that you're the second strongest in the world. Not true, because that's me. I've never beaten Mike, but I'll beat anyone who isn't Mike.
You won't beat me. I'll take your title, then I'll take on Mike.
Then bring it on, Zozo the Electric Tiger.
The armored villager waited for me to make the first move, which I did, using my netherite sword. He blocked the attack and countered with a strike from his own weapon. I lost quite a few hearts and had to dodge back to avoid the worst of his attacks. I used my energy blast to keep him at a distance, but his armor was as tough as mine. You're pretty strong, pillager.
Are you ready to give up and run away?
No way. I'll never back down from a fight again. From day 95 to day 97, I continued to battle against the armored pillager, utilizing all my specially trained techniques to try and gain an advantage. Have another lightning strike.
I can handle your lightning strikes all the livelong day, Zozo.
We'll see about that. I circled around the armored pillager with my whirlwind attack and delivered sword strikes wherever I could. I was still having trouble cracking the second strongest fighter's armor, but I figured I could soften him up for a lightning strike if I just kept attacking. With my whirlwind active, I spun around and unleashed my lightning strike. With that attack, the pillager surrendered. The electric tiger defeated the armored pillager and became the true second strongest in the world.
No, I couldn't achieve my dream of becoming the strongest in the world.
Why did you want to become the strongest so bad? I'm doing it to protect my friends and myself from Mike.
It started that way for me too, but when I realized I would never win, I became his follower. All the people who believed in me before became sad and stopped being my friends, but they went on to form the Order of the Shield.
Wait, you were the original champion.
No, I was just the guy who tried to be a champion before there was a champion. You've got to be better than me, Zozo.
I will, armored pillager. I'll defeat Mike and become the strongest in the world, once and for all. On day 98, I went back to the base to tell everyone that I would soon be facing off against Mike for the ultimate title. I went to visit Windcaller first, who was standing at the top of the watchtower. Thanks to the strength you gave me at the start, I was able to become the champion that you always thought I could be.
It was like I said long ago. My strength was the foundation, but you built it into something better and made it your own.
Thank you for believing in me.
Here is a bit more of my strength in the form of a potion. Drink it before you go into battle.
Next, I met with Fletcher outside of the chicken farm. I wanted to assure him that once I was the strongest, I would use my strength to protect all of the biomes from evil.
Very soon, the world will be safe. I'm glad I was able to help your quest for strength, Zozo.
You gave me what I needed when I needed it most, and I'm so grateful that I was able to meet you.
Make the most of your magic powers. The special techniques will be the key to victory.
After Fletcher, there was only one last friend to thank, the fungus thrower who was chilling in the party room. This room is the best room, other than a mushroom, of course. That's a fungus. I look forward to hanging out after I beat Mike once and for all. It'll be a big celebration. On day 99, I made my way back to the eroded Badlands and saw the first glimpses of Mike's base. I approached, and there were the Whisperers waiting to stand in the way. Move aside, small fry. I'm here for Mike. You guys don't need to be involved. The Whisperers bolted for the hills, and I ran straight into Mike's base. On day 100, I walked into Mike's fight club with my netherite sword drawn. Mike, I'm here to fight. The big golem himself, Mike, appeared before me in order to fight.
Zozo the Electric Tiger, you fought all the other strong people in the world, and now you think you can steal my crown.
I do. I'm gonna make sure that you are put down for the count.
Lots of people have said that to me before, and I've beaten them all. I didn't get to be the strongest because I made excuses. I just kept fighting and winning.
But you didn't fight the Whisperers when they started going after the Order of the Shield. You didn't want a champion to fight you.
I don't care what those weaklings do or what fights they get into. All that matters is the fight between me and you. That's how it's always been, destined champion. Let's do this in a place worthy of this showdown.
Mike left, and I ran after him. He turned into his fighting arena. I followed him in when he hit at the entrance and slammed his golem fist into my body. It was the Mike Spike, his signature opening move. I drew my netherite sword and dealt some real damage to him for the first time. I followed up with a whirlwind and a lightning strike. Mike threw me across the fight club. Then he jumped and slammed onto me, dealing a lot of damage. He tried to attack again, but I hit him with an energy blast. He caught him off guard, and I was able to land a bunch of other energy blasts after. Then I remembered to drink up the strength potion Windcaller gave me. I felt much stronger now. As we stood there, swinging away at each other, hit after hit, I was wearing the golem down. Eventually, one of us fell. Mike actually dropped. Yes, Zozo the Electric Tiger wins! I had completed the 100-day challenge to defeat the strongest being in the world. I had won! On day 1, I spawned into the Stony Peaks as an awesome elemental spider! 10 hearts, that isn't too bad. Still, I could probably afford to be a lot stronger. I started to crawl around on my 8 elemental legs. It was in the middle of the night, with the moon shining up above. I couldn't help but feel like something spooky was about to happen. And then, in the cold of the moonlight, a huge, scary werewolf jumped out.
Oh, hello there, little one. You look lost. Come with me. I can help you find your way.
My, Mr. Werewolf, what big teeth you have.
Yes, little spider. All the better to eat you with.
He came charging towards me, and in a panic, I used one of my inherent spider powers, putting down as many cobwebs as I could. Lucky for me, the web slowed the werewolf down, buying me some time.
That's a dirty trick. Come back here.
No way! I ran away as fast as I could, crawling through the Stony Peaks and trying to escape. But during my daring escape, I was ambushed by some vicious worgons.
Not so fast, Spider. We want to play.
But I didn't want to play, so I did all I could to escape and find a place to hide for the night. I waited for hours for morning to come, but it never did. The night just went on and on. Something's really wrong here. On day 2, or at least after time for a whole day had passed, I noticed that the eternal night had continued, and a big bright moon still hung up in the sky. This is so weird. Why isn't it ever daytime around here? It just doesn't make sense. But I couldn't afford to sit around and hide. My elemental spider stomach was grumbling. I started skittering around and searching for something to eat until I happened upon an apple tree full of rich, juicy apples. Ooh, don't mind if I do. I climbed the tree to get the apples, ate them, and then gathered some wood to make a wooden pickaxe. I mined some stone with it and used that stone to make a stone pickaxe and stone sword. If I'm gonna be trapped in a nightmarish eternal night, I might as well at least have a roof over my head. I mined enough stone from the Stony Peaks to start building myself a basic little spider nest. 1 room, a bed, and a few lanterns to offset the scary darkness. Be it ever so spooky, there's no place like home. And while I was admiring my work, I got interrupted by another worgen running in to attack me.
Tasty spider. I'll eat you alive.
Eat this instead. I lashed out with my sword, striking brave and true until the worgen was defeated. In that moment, I knew that I could stand up for myself. On day 3, I left my base in the Stony Peaks to hang around the Sunflower Plains. It was still in the middle of the deep, dark night. maybe I can find some interesting materials for my gear or my base around here. Instead, I felt a sudden cold gust of air blowing across the plains. A terrifying presence had entered the space. I looked up and saw a big, frightening Solnir galloping towards me.
You should not be here, little spider. This is a dark and terrible place. If you're not careful, you could get hurt.
I knew he wasn't warning me, he was threatening me, and he looked way too tough for me to take him on, so all I could do was run. I fled across the plains as fast as I could, with the Solnir hot on my heels. He was catching up to me. All I could do was use my special move, dropping more cobwebs to slow him down.
You can't keep running forever, Zozo. I'll get you eventually.
I was able to get out of there while the Solnir was trapped. I felt bad about running away. I need to stick to my guns and stand up for myself, or I'm never gonna solve this problem.
Out of my way, fool!
I looked down and saw a strange little creature standing at my feet. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm the Onion Queen, you knave, and you will bow before me. My castle was destroyed in a Worgen attack, and now I need to seek out a new castle.
Well, Your Highness, why not come and stay at my base? I'd appreciate the company.
This is agreeable, but only if my room is extremely elegant.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base in the Stony Peaks with Her Highness, the Onion Queen.
This place is a horrible dump, Zozo. Not at all befitting of my regal nature, but it will have to do.
Thanks for compromising for me, Your Highness. I guess. I set to work mining more stone until soon I'd excavated enough to make a new room where the Onion Queen could stay. I did my best to make it an elegant royal suite, but my resources were pretty limited at this stage.
I won't lie to you, Zozo. It's utterly hideous. But it will have to do. Thank you for the effort you put in.
I left the base again to mine some more stone, but while I was out there, I was attacked by another gang of Worgens. You guys just won't give up, will you? It's nighttime all the time out here. Don't you Worgens ever sleep? They didn't reply. Instead, they ran in and attacked me, and I fought them back with my stone sword. When I'd finally defeated the nasty little gang, I noticed that one of them had dropped an interesting piece of loot. Wait, is that a battle axe? Don't they freeze any mobs I hit for 10 seconds? That'd be super useful later. From day 6 to day 8, I was back in the Stony Peaks looking for a decent mining cavern where I could upgrade all my weapons and tools. Some iron would change everything, but it's so hard to hunt some down when it's so dark all the time.
Can't find your iron, eh? How about I help you out with an iron fist?
I turned with terror and saw the giant werewolf standing right in front of me. He somehow looked even bigger and scarier now.
You nasty little trickster. I bet you thought you were real smart using that trick with the spider webs. But with these new weapons, I won't even need to run to get you.
That's when I noticed that the werewolf was carrying a stack of javelins. If he was good with them, I was in real trouble. Let's just talk, wolf to spider. I want some answers, werewolf. Can't you tell me why it's so dark all the time? Did you do this?
I don't owe you any answers. All I owe you is a javelin to the face. Get running, Spider-Man.
I started running away as the werewolf chased, throwing his javelins at me as I tried to flee. I managed to dodge most of them, but when one of them hit me, I lost most of my hearts. Oh no, oh no, 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 no! I knew if I took another javelin, I'd be doomed. I needed to make a plan, quickly. Wait, I've got it! I used my cobweb power again, building a wall of them. It wouldn't keep him back for long, but it might at least block some of his javelins. I've never been happier to be a web slinger. With the little time that bought me, I'd managed to escape the wrath of the werewolf yet again. From day 9 to day 10, I was resting in my base, still recovering from that stressful attack by the werewolf. Boy, when the sun doesn't come out, it feels like there's no motivation to get up and get going. But I didn't just get to laze around all day. Instead, the Onion Queen suddenly burst into my room.
Zozo, get up this instant! Your queen demands it! You're never going to get anything done if you can't even get out of bed!
Sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't mean to upset you.
I've taken the liberty of improving your base to make it live up to my own royal standards. Go check outside. I've begun work on constructing a great statue to inspire you into action for my honor.
I went outside and saw that the Onion Queen had been true to her word. She'd started building an amazing statue for me, but I couldn't tell what it was just yet. What about you? What do you guys think? Do you know what the Onion Queen statue is gonna be? Let me know down in the comments. the Onion Queen wasn't done. She'd also made several other base upgrades, a training room where I could work hard and get stronger, and even a furnace to smelt metal ores and diamonds with a storage room where we could keep all of our supplies. You've outdone yourself with all this, Your Majesty.
What can I say? I've always had a knack for architecture. It runs in the royal bloodline.
From day 11 to day 12, I was lying in bed in a state of uneasy sleep. The fact that night and day were no longer different made it really difficult to decide when I should go to bed. While I was sleeping, I dreamed of daylight on the stony peaks. I dreamed of the bright sun up in the air. And strangely, I dreamed of a lone villager walking through the peaks. The villager wasn't strong, and nobody took him seriously. What most people didn't know was that he had a powerful secret. Every full moon, he'd turn into a powerful werewolf. A werewolf that everyone fears and respects. But the problem was that the villager could only access this power under the full moon. He wanted to be a werewolf all the time, so he sought out an ancient and powerful spellbook. With the spellbook, he ushered in an eternal night and an eternal full moon. That way, he could always be the werewolf and always be the most powerful person out there. I woke up in a cold, elemental spider sweat. I knew everything now, and I knew that if I wanted the sun to rise again, I needed to defeat the werewolf once and for all. From day 13 to day 15, now knowing what I needed to do, I realized that I needed to get stronger if I wanted to defeat the werewolf and return sunlight to the overworld. If I'm going to be strong, I need to not be afraid. I need to take on even the most challenging enemies. That's why I returned to the Sunflower Plains that the sun hadn't touched in a long time to take on the Solnir.
So, you return to me, little spider. Are you ready to leave this cold, dark world?
No, Solnir, I'm just getting started. Come at me. And he did. The Solnir galloped in, but he didn't know that I had my battle axe ready. With one strike, he was frozen in place, and I pulled out my stone sword to finish him off. With the Solnir destroyed, I had enough XP to level up and get stronger. I had 30 hearts, and my first elemental power, Ice Blast! This is awesome! This new power will catch that evil werewolf by surprise. From day 16 to day 19, with my new power and confidence, I knew that I needed to get myself some new equipment too. After all that searching around the stony peaks, I finally found a mining cavern that looked like it might have a rich vein of iron inside. Time to get mining. I descended into the mining cavern until I found the iron I was looking for. After hacking through the blocks with my stone pickaxe, I collected up the iron ore and started to leave. But on the way out, I was cornered by a big, scary hellhound. Nice doggy. Lucky for me, I had my new power. I blasted the hellhound with my ice blast, freezing it in place. I didn't want to hurt him, so I just snuck out as quickly as I could while he was still frozen. Not long after, I made it back to my base, where I used the furnace that the Onion Queen built me to smelt the iron into ingots and made myself some new tools, an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Nothing's gonna stop me now. From day 20 to day 22, I got another rude awakening from the Onion Queen. Okay, I'll get up. Just give me 5 more minutes, Your Majesty.
No time, Zozo! That ghastly werewolf! He's here, at the future Onion Queen Palace!
What? Oh no! With no time to waste, I skittered out of my room on my 8 elemental legs and met the terrifying werewolf standing right there!
You, little spider, are one of the biggest cowards I've ever met. Every time we battle, you use your little cobwebs to escape. So now, I've come to you. No way out. Are you ready to meet your doom, Spider Boy?
My name is Zozo, and this time I'm ready to take you on one-on-one. The battle began, using my iron sword and my battle axe against him. He was incredibly strong and equally fast, but I didn't give up. And when I hit him with an ice blast, he stopped dead.
What is this magic? You couldn't do that before.
Because I'm getting stronger, werewolf, and soon I'll be so strong that you can't defeat me.
Don't count your elemental spider eggs before they hatch, Zozo. I will return.
With that, the werewolf ran off into the eternal night. And for the first time, I truly believed that I could defeat him once and for all. From day 23 to day 26, I was, once again, woken up after my intense battle by the Onion Queen.
How many times, Zozo?
Sorry. Fighting the werewolf was tiring work.
Well, you won't last very long as my royal protectorate if you get hit by one of his javelins, will you? Here, while you were sleeping, I made these.
The Onion Queen handed me a pair of Outback leggings.
These should make you more agile and allow you to dodge out of the path of oncoming projectiles. Plus, you need a uniform if you're going to represent my royal name out there.
Huh, these are a pretty good fit. Not sure they're my color, though.
You'd better wear them, Zozo. As royalty, I have demanded it, and that means what I say is now law.
Any more laws you want to decree, Your Highness?
Yes, actually. I hereby declare that everyone should search ZOZO to find more videos to watch.
I had no idea what any of that meant, but it sounded important, so I'd do it if I were you. From day 27 to day 31, the Onion Queen seemed pretty agitated about something, and not wanting to get on her bad side, I figured I should ask her. Everything going okay, Your Highness?
No, not at all. Everything is positively horrid.
Positively? Isn't that good?
No! Just look at my statue!
I took a look, and the Onion Queen had really been making a lot of progress with building her new monument. It looks okay to me.
Of course you'd think that. To the untrained eye, maybe. But there's no white concrete. How can I possibly have a statue celebrating my regality without any white concrete?
Okay. Well, what if I go and find some white concrete that you can use to add to the statue?
Well, it's about time you made yourself useful. Off you go. There should be some in the Twilight Valley.
So, off I went to search the Twilight Valley. It didn't take me long to find some white concrete, which made me wonder what all the fuss was about. Then, I noticed a gang of Worgans in my way. That explains that, I guess. I leapt into action and delivered a few battle axe attacks to freeze the Worgans in place, then shattered them to frozen pieces with my sword. With all of them defeated, I was able to retrieve plenty of white concrete and returned it to the Onion Queen to add to her vanity project. Statue.
This will do for now, but you'd better head back to the Twilight Valley to get more. Your queen demands it.
From day 32 to day 35, I did as the Onion Queen asked me, or rather, told me, and went off to find more white concrete in the Twilight Valley. I didn't come across much more though, just a few extra Worgans to take out for the XP. Suddenly, I heard a call for help from nearby.
Excuse me, I could use some help here if it's no trouble, that is.
Sure thing, at least you're polite about it. I'm Zozo. What do you need?
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm Little Kato, and well, my friend hasn't come back for a while. I'm worried he might have been kidnapped.
That's awful. Don't worry, Kato. I'll do my best to track him down. You just point me towards where you last saw him. From day 36 to day 39, I followed Little Kato's directions until I came across a mini base hidden in the Twilight Valley. I made my way through the main entrance without any problems. Sure enough, there was Kato's friend, being held inside a cage, although I hadn't expected him to be a tomato. Excuse me, are you Kato's friend?
Oh my, thank heavens! Did she send you?
She did, although she didn't mention you were…
Oh, I know. Imagine putting someone in a cage, it's barbaric. I'm Roland the Rogue Tomato. I'd ask your name, but we'll have to dispense with the pleasantries until you've got me out of here. Quickly, before he gets back. He's been threatening to chop me up and put me in a salad. It's ghastly.
Sure, I'll get on it. Who captured you anyway?
That'd be me. What do you think you're doing with my lunch?
I turned around to find myself face to face with a terrifying Reaver. He seemed pretty mad to find me trying to rescue Roland, so I acted fast. I used my webs to create a defensive barrier around the Rogue Tomato's cage, then got ready to fend off the deadly Reaver. From day 40 to day 43, I battled with the Reaver. It was way bigger than me and a tough opponent, but I had to do my best to save Roland and reunite him with Kato. The Reaver was vicious, but also found it hard to move inside the cramped space of the mini base. So I used that to my advantage. I webbed him to the spot. Then, as he was struggling to free himself, I used a well-timed ice blast to freeze him solid. With him trapped, I went in for the killing blow with my sword and defeated the Reaver. Yeah, I did it!
What a show! Good hustle there, mystery rescuer. Now, if you're not too tired, mind getting back to freeing me from this cage?
Okay, here you go. And just like that, Roland the Rogue Tomato was saved. Since it was still a dark and endless night outside, I figured the right thing to do was guide him back to where Kato was, just in case any other nasty mobs decided they fancied a tomato for a snack.
Thank you, Zozo. I dread to think what would have happened if you didn't come along.
No problem. You know, I take back what I said before. You guys are actually quite the pair of friends.
Here,
Kato, why don't we give this charming elemental spider the rest of our white concrete? It's the least we can do to say thank you.
From day 44 to day 49, I left little Kato and Roland the Rogue Tomato to go off together and headed back from the Twilight Valley to my base back in the Stony Peaks. It had been a hard few days, at least it felt that way. Thanks to no daytime or nighttime, it was hard to tell exactly how long it had been, although it seemed to be long enough for the Onion Queen to have more complaints.
There you are! You've been off gallivanting for ages! You really expect me to finish the work on this statue by myself? It's manual labor, unbecoming of royalty. Don't you know it's illegal for me to work, since I'm the queen?
Is it illegal, or is it just illegal because you said it is?
Don't speak like that to me. That's almost treasonous. Did you at least find some more white concrete?
Oh, well, I kinda got sidetracked, but I did manage to get some.
Well, good. Here, you can use that and the rest of mine to carry on working on the statue. I'm going to go lie down. Remember to make it look stoic, but also down to earth, like me.
I decided I'd work on the statue later. In the meantime, I went about building a perimeter wall to give my base some added defenses. I got the idea after seeing that Reaver's mini base. Plus, it'd come in handy in case the werewolf came back while I wasn't around.
I thought I told you to finish the statue.
That was a really quick nap, Your Highness.
I can't sleep for too long. I don't want to look like a disheveled commoner. Anyway, while you've been so preoccupied with less important things, I took it upon myself to work more on my resplendent statue.
Well, that's really something. I just hope no mobs spot it from a distance and decide to come pay us a visit.
Well, that's for you to handle. I'm queen. I shouldn't have to fight.
From day 50 to day 53, I was recuperating at my base when suddenly a javelin came flying towards me. Thanks to my Outback leggings, I was able to hop right out of the way without injury as it hurtled past and missed me. It was the werewolf who had thrown it. He had come back to the base, this time with an army of his vile worgans.
Did you think I was done with you? Oh no, now here comes the wolf to flush the spider out. Worgans, attack!
The worgans charged at the base, clambering their way over the perimeter wall. I launched a few ice blasts from inside, trying to freeze them as they got closer. The werewolf stormed the base and kidnapped the Onion Queen. I was still fighting off the worgans inside the base when the werewolf escaped with the Onion Queen. The one upside was, I was fighting his minions off a lot easier now and cut through enough of them to level up. I now had a whopping 50 hearts. And even better, watching the worgans invade my base had helped teach me a new elemental spider ability. Now I could climb walls. From day 54 to day 57, I decided to work on repairing the base and fixing some of the damage left behind by those pesky worgans. Even I had to admit, the place felt too quiet without the Onion Queen. Sure, she was pretty bossy, but I suppose she couldn't help it. She was used to having servants and people to do whatever she wanted all the time. I knew that werewolf wouldn't harm her until he got me, so I still had time to mount a rescue. With the repairs all done, I decided to head back to the Twilight Valley and reach out to my other friends. Little Kato was happy to see me.
Oh, I'm real sorry about what happened at your base, Zozo.
Thanks, Kato. I don't suppose you saw what direction the werewolf took the Onion Queen in?
I would have gone back to the Zelkova Forest. That's where the werewolf's lair is. But you really don't look like you're ready to take on that nasty wolf just yet.
What do you think I should do next then?
Maybe go and make yourself some new equipment first. I mean, only if you want to. I know there's a cave near here with lots of shiny stones in it. Maybe start there.
Shiny stones? You mean diamonds? Now that sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Kato. From day 58 to day 62, I took little Kato's advice and headed off to mine for some diamonds. My trusty iron sword and pickaxe had served me well up until now. But if I was going to stand a chance at defeating the werewolf and restoring daylight and save the Onion Queen on top of that, then I'd need some much stronger gear. Venturing deeper into the mining cavern, I quickly spotted the glint of some shiny diamonds and wasted no time prying them out of the cave stone walls. Just as I gathered up my newfound diamonds, it seemed that something was stirring underground. A dangerous High Reaver appeared, and I climbed up a nearby wall just in time to dodge his attack. I leapt down from my vantage point and gave my old iron sword one last use to take down the High Reaver. Once that was done, I used my newly mined diamonds to make myself some shiny new gear. I had enough to forge a diamond sword and a matching pickaxe to make fighting and gathering resources much easier. I was a step closer to restoring daylight in the overworld. From day 63 to day 66, I made my way back to my base. Even though I had come a long way, I was still feeling uncertain. I knew that if what Kato had said was true, then I was still underprepared to face the werewolf again. In the endless nighttime he had created, he would be far more powerful, and it seemed no amount of new diamond weapons could change that. But as I returned home, I was greeted by the sight of the Onion Queen statue. It stood, unfinished, and part of me thought it would be right to finish it. But I changed my mind. No, she should be here to see it completed. Although she bossed me around, we were still friends, and I had to get her back. After all, I was meant to be her protector, right? So I readied myself for the next part of my quest, to find the werewolf's den, defeat him, save the Onion Queen, and finally bring an end to the night. And if you want to help me get there, then why don't you subscribe by clicking the button below? And make sure to leave a like on the video and comment to show your support. From day 67 to day 70, I headed towards the creepy Zelkova forest. If Kato was right, this was where I'd find the werewolf's hideout. My plan was to do what I had done when I went to rescue Roland, find some way to get inside, and find where my friend the Onion Queen was being held. Then, if I could manage it, I would break her out and get her back to safety, and worry about settling the score with the werewolf later. As I approached the fortress, a pretty nasty welcome party was patrolling the area nearby. Worgans! I blasted 3 with an ice blast, holding them in place, while my new diamond sword took down the others in 1 hit each. Then, before the frozen Worgans had a chance to defrost, I slashed the blade their way and shattered them. I figured out quickly that there must have been so many of them here guarding a way into the werewolf's den. And sure enough, after I looked around, I found a button that opened up the entrance into a tunnel. This was my way in. From day 71 to day 74, I traveled through the long, dark hallway into the fortress. In fact, since there was torches on the wall, the dark down here wasn't so bad. It was actually easier to see my way around than outside in the endless night. I made my way into the werewolf's base and began searching around. I managed to stay hidden in the werewolf's den, mainly by climbing up the walls and avoiding the eyeline of the Worgans that were patrolling the fortress's corridors. However, in the first room I searched, I stumbled across a Solnir.
How did you get in, intruder?
I came in through dirt tunnel.
Just for that joke, I'm trampling you myself instead of bringing you to the werewolf.
Good luck doing that. Well, web to the floor. I used my webs and stuck them to the spot, then climbed up the wall, putting all my elemental spider skills on display. I leapt down, sword at the ready, and swiped at the Solnir. Like that, he was down. But then I realized what he was guarding in this room. In the far corner was an old chest, and once I pried it open, I found something that would give me even more of an edge. It was a full set of diamond armor. I quickly put it on to protect myself from oncoming damage. From day 75 to day 78, I continued to look around for the Onion Queen. After searching high and low, I eventually found where the Onion Queen was being held.
So? I never thought I'd see you again. Please get me out of here. Compared to this awful cage, your base is a palace.
It's okay, Your Highness. That's why I came here.
You mean even after I've been so crude to you, you still came to rescue me?
Sure, that's what friends do.
Friends? What are those? Is that another word for servants?
I'll explain later. With a few swings of my sword, I broke the cage wide open, and the Onion Queen was free. She ran off, and before I could join her, a certain sinister someone jumped out in front of me.
Not so fast. You thought it would be that easy? I knew you'd come and get the queen. In fact, I was counting on it. Now you've saved me the trouble of bringing you here myself.
The werewolf! It was a trap! I leapt into battle and swiped at him with my sword, catching him by surprise with a flurry of attacks. He was still too tough for me to fully defeat, but I had to try. With a few more well-timed hits, I was able to weaken the wolf enough for me to flee and head back out through the tunnel to safety. From day 79 to day 84, although I was heading back to base, the werewolf wasn't taking our escape well.
That pesky elemental spider thinks he can scuttle into my home and steal from my larder. Not on my watch.
The werewolf went to find the book of spells he owned, the same one he had used as a villager to stop the sun from rising and keep the overworld trapped in endless nighttime.
Here's the incantation.
He began casting another magic spell. Outside in the sky, the glow of the moonlight got brighter. He grew into an even bigger, scarier werewolf than he was before.
Yes, Yes! With more moonlight, my strength will increase, and there won't be anything that Zozo can do to stop me! No elemental spider can stop the power of the moon!
From day 85 to day 89, I finally made it back to the Stony Peaks in one piece with the Onion Queen behind me.
I think I've nearly got it. So friends are other people who you... what do you do with them again?
You can talk to them, hang out and share interests. If you're in trouble and can't get yourself out, then you can call on a friend to help. Some friends even give each other gifts.
Are we friends, Zozo?
Sure, I mean, as long as you want to be.
I would like that. Here, have this. I was taught this spell when I took the throne, but I have no way to harness it. I'm not attuned with the elements, but you're an elemental spider.
The Onion Queen cast her magic my way and gave me a new upgrade, a fire aspect enchantment.
Just give me a moment, Zozo. I should go and do something.
After a little while, I figured out that the Onion Queen had wanted to finish her statue. And pretty soon, she told me it was finished. But what I hadn't been expecting was for her to make it into a giant spider web. I felt really appreciated.
There's something you should know. When I was captured, the werewolf spoke of a book of spells he has, and how he can increase his power with the moonlight. If you get that book, you might be able to bring daylight back. But with the moon this bright, you need to be stronger.
Well, I've been trying my best. Maybe since he's using magic, I should use some of my own to stop him.
I agree. I think it's time for me to stop clinging to my royal title and do something that can actually change things for the better. I'm going to help you.
From day 90 to day 94, I set out toward the old mini base in the Twilight Valley. The Onion Queen had sent me there to see if there was any magical supplies we could steal from the werewolf's minions. I ran into another group of worgans, and they went down after a short fight. I was really getting good at this, and with my new fire aspect enchantment, it was easier than ever to take these nasty critters down. Their boss would be another story, though. I searched around the mini base and found another chest. Perfect! I wonder what's inside. I opened it up and was delighted to find a potion of power. This would be perfect to give me a boost of strength to help me take down the werewolf. I'd still need some more help in order to beat him. And that's when I remembered what I taught the Onion Queen. From day 95 to day 97, I went back to my base, and to my luck, the exact person I was hoping to see was right there waiting for me.
Zozo, you're back.
Hey there, Kato. How's Roland doing?
He's fine. Well, not exactly. He got it in his head that the werewolf wants to eat him.
Well, let's see what we can do about stopping that from happening.
I actually came here to give you a gift. It's not much, but I wanted to say thank you for saving my rogue tomato friend and trying your best against the werewolf.
Oh, you didn't have to get me a gift. Actually, where is it?
Oh, it's in my brain. I'm going to show you how to make netherite armor. It'll be strong enough that the werewolf will never bite through.
So, for the next few days, Kato and I worked on building my new armor. And sure enough, by the time we were done, I had the toughest, most pristine full set of netherite armor anyone had ever seen. On day 98, I was preparing myself for the final battle. This was it. After nearly a full 100 days of night, I was getting ready to face off against the werewolf for the third and final time. I had my potion of power ready to drink, and I was decked out in my sweet new netherite armor. There was only one thing left to do. Search for more videos by typing ZOZO and leave me a comment telling us what you want to see us survive 100 days in Minecraft next. Okay, 2 things left to do. I said farewell to my friends, leaving the Onion Queen and little Kato in the safety of my base as I set off to complete my quest. On day 99, I decided not to take the secret tunnel into the werewolf's den. I had gone that way last time, and no doubt he'd have that entrance guarded this time around. So instead, I snuck up to the outer walls and used my elemental spider ability of crawling to climb up the wall and find a way in through the top. Once I was inside, I decided it was time to get ready for the fight. I already had on my netherite armor for protection and my diamond sword to do some damage. But the werewolf had the power of being a wolf and the moon on his side. So I drank my potion of power and leveled up. The potion made me even stronger. I now had 100 hearts and the power to fire energy blasts. Now this would be a fair fight. And not a moment too soon, because the werewolf came barreling down the halls of his fortress towards me.
I could smell you a mile off. You've been a thorn in my side for too long, Zozo. Now it's time to squash this itsy-bitsy elemental spider.
We clashed, and I used my sword to block the swings of his claws. He was ferocious, far more than he had been before. He might have spent too much time in the moon. Wait, is moonstroke a thing? You can get sunstroke if you're out in the sun for too long, so maybe?
Do you ever stop talking?
While the werewolf was agitated and distracted, I surprised him with a sudden energy blast. It sent him staggering backwards. I ran at him with my diamond sword drawn. We clashed swords again. He really was stronger, but so was I. I ducked out of the path of his claws and used all my tricks against him. I froze him to the spot, then swung my sword before he quickly broke free from the ice. I leapt out of the path of his javelins and climbed up the walls to get out of his reach when I needed a second to collect my thoughts. And then, leaping from above, I brought my sword swinging down through the air. Boom! I had done it! I defeated the werewolf! On day 100, I gathered up the spellbook from the werewolf's lair and made my way back to the base with a spring in my step. Both Little Kato and the Onion Queen cheered when they saw me making it back in one piece.
You did it, Zozo. I never doubted you for a second.
Thanks, Kato. I think you might know what to do with this spellbook.
No, the honor is all yours, Zozo. I'll be happy to once again feel the sunlight with friends by my side.
I flipped through the pages and found the right spell. And once I recited the magic words, the sky was filled with bright sunlight. Daytime had been restored, and the overworld was back to normal. All thanks to your friendly neighborhood elemental spider. On day 1, I spawned into the freezing cold Alps as Supersonic! Whoa, look at me! I'm super fast and solid gold! This is one thing cooler than being Sonic, even if I only have 10 hearts! I was so distracted by my own cool shiny skin that I didn't even notice a massive obsidian golem stomping towards me through the snow.
How? Who goes there?
You should have asked, who's Zo's there? Because I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you.
This is no time to joke. Golems everywhere are under threat right now, and if I believe you might be involved with a threat against us, I'll need to take you in for questioning.
Sure, you can take me in for questioning, but you'll need to catch me first. I turned and ran off unbelievably fast, zipping across the Alps way faster than the obsidian golem could ever follow me. It felt like I was going to escape until I ran up into another obsidian golem standing right in front of me. What? How did you get here so fast?
I didn't. I'm another guy, you dingus. Now come with me before I smash you with my big golem fist.
Guess I can't argue with that. And with that, he led me away. On day 2, the huge obsidian golem led me back to a fortified base hidden deep in the Alps. I was led into a cell, and the obsidian golem locked the door behind me.
You better stay well behaved, Zozo. We don't want to hurt you if we don't have to. But if you make trouble for us, I'll make even bigger trouble for you.
Okay, I get it. You're a big scary golem. I won't mess with you.
Thank you for getting it. I didn't want to labor the point.
Golem left, and left me in an obviously not ideal situation. Darn, I really need to figure out how to get out of here, and figure out what's going on in the overworld. Clearly something isn't right.
You're not the only one who feels that way, mate.
I turned and saw a drop bear sitting in the cell with me. Somehow, I hadn't even noticed him in here.
G'day, I'm Dave. Dave the Drop Bear. I was on vacation from down under, sightseeing in the Alps, and these big nasty golem blokes wrapped me on the knuckles and dragged me in here.
You too, huh? I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you, Dave. We need to figure out a way out of this place.
Well, I've tried myself, mate. If it was easy, I would have done it already.
Okay, let me think. I don't have any tools, but I do have super speed. Maybe if I run at the wall with enough speed, I can break a hole into it.
Couldn't hurt to try, mate. Well, it might hurt you to go into the wall really fast, but still, I encourage trying whenever I can.
I took an epic run up, well, as epic as the size of the cell allowed, and ran straight into the wall. It broke enough of the blocks to let me and Dave escape, even if the impact did take off a few hearts.
You're a legend, Zozo. I hope we meet again someday.
Same here, Dave. Be safe out there. So we both made our ways out into the world, hoping that those nasty obsidian golems wouldn't find us. On day 3, I continued traveling through the Alps, trying to find a safe way out, but my body was still aching from running into that wall at super speed. Ow, ow, ow. It worked, but in hindsight, I'm not sure why I thought that would be a good idea. But I wasn't just hurting, I was also hungry, and I needed to find some food soon, or I wouldn't even have the strength to run. what I'd do for a chili dog right now. But I didn't find a chili dog. Instead, I found some apples laying around and ate as many as I could to replenish my hunger bar. That's more like it. At least I won't starve and freeze up on this mountain. My relief was short-lived because a huge figure came rolling out of the snow towards me, even bigger and stronger than the obsidian golems. Oh no, I'm totally gonna be destroyed. I'm having terrible luck this week.
Be not afraid, stranger. I am Humbaba, the wise, brave, and honest. And seeing as you're wandering through the snow, alone and afraid, I assume you've had an unfortunate run-in with the golems.
How'd you guess?
Believe me, I have good reason to know. Come with me, stranger. I'll keep you safe, and you can help me with a little something I've been working on.
And so I followed Humbaba through the snow, having no idea what would happen next. From day 4 to day 5, we finally left the Alps and entered the ancient forest, which was actually a lot more comfortable than all the freezing cold of the Alps. We arrived at Humbaba's base a little while after, where he gave me my first set of stone tools and a stone sword. Why are you giving me these?
Because you need to get stronger, stranger. If you want to help me save the world, you need your own base, and you need to get better at fighting.
But what are you trying to save the world from, Humbaba? Oh, and by the way, my name's Zozo.
Once, they called me the king of the beasts. That means I ruled all the animals, and I did so kindly and fairly. Then came the cruel and diabolical golems, who toppled me from my throne and tried to capture and enslave all the animals I once represented.
That's terrible!
It certainly is. So go, Zozo, get stronger, and then return to me. We will save this world together.
I left Humbaba's base and went further into the ancient forest. Eventually, I found a decent clearing and started cutting down trees and mining stone to start building myself a cool little base. This is coming along well. It'll be nice to be in a room that I haven't been locked in by somebody else. But saying that out loud, ironically, attracted the attention of one of the obsidian golems who'd locked me up.
There you are. You owe us some emeralds after damaging a wall.
I don't owe you guys anything. Using my super speed, I ran in and attacked him with my stone sword, too fast for him to even fight back. Moments later, he was defeated, and I'd gained enough XP to level up. I got bigger, tougher, faster, and gained an awesome jump boost. I now also had 30 hearts instead of just 10. I'm really living up to my supersonic name. From day 6 to day 8, I was running back and forth through the ancient forest to test my super jumps and super speed. But along the way, I ran into an old friend, Dave the Drop Bear. Aw, hey Dave, fancy seeing you here.
Zozo, good to see you, mate. You're looking bigger and stronger since we last met each other. Have you been working out?
I have. Thank you for noticing. What are you doing in the ancient forest, Dave?
I've been laying low, mate. Keeping it old school. Those obsidian golems came looking for me.
You too? Gosh, it seems like Humbaba was right. These obsidian golems are never going to give up unless we stop them.
Humbaba? What's that?
Oh, just a friend of mine. One I should probably go and see. I returned to Humbaba, eager to take on my first mission and stop these awful golems from taking over our lives.
I'm glad you've come to realize how important our mission is, Zozo. But it's much bigger than just obsidian golems. It's all of them. Your first mission will be a trial by fire. Literally. Go to the savannah and defeat the magma golem. If you are strong enough, victory will be yours.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed Humbaba's instructions and went out to the savannah. Boy, it's so hot out here. It almost makes me regret complaining about how cold the Alps were. But that heat wasn't just the climate. It was the heat coming off of a big, hot magma golem I was creeping up on. I approached carefully, ready to use a burst of speed to take him out with a surprise attack. But instead, he turned and caught me.
Are you trying to sneak up on me, you little creep? That's not a good idea. You won't like what I do to people who sneak up on me.
Don't worry, nobody is ever gonna do it again after this, cause I'm gonna defeat you. Humbaba told me exactly where to find you, and here you are.
You're one of Humbaba's goons? That makes all too much sense.
I'm not a goon, I'm a hero. Let's go. I ran in at super speed and used my jump boost to leap over him. I pulled out my stone sword and attacked him as fast as I could. He turned and landed a few powerful hits on me, but in the end, I was victorious. Wow, I lost a lot of hearts in that battle. This isn't good.
That's where I come in.
I turned and saw that Dave the Drop Bear was walking towards me again. Dave, how did you find me?
Pure luck. I had some commotion and ran right over. Yeah, I have a healing potion, mate.
I drank the potion that Dave gave me and felt my heart's replenishing.
Why are you out here anyway, Zozo?
My friend Humbaba sent me out here to fight the magma golem. It was harder than I thought.
He sends you on dangerous missions. That's a strange thing for a friend to do.
We've got an important goal, Dave. You wouldn't understand. Thanks for the health potion, though. I'll pay you back for this someday. And with that, I ran off at the speed of sound to tell Humbaba about my victory. From day 11 to day 12, I rushed back to the ancient forest to tell Humbaba the good news.
Welcome back, Zozo. Were you successful in your mission?
I sure was. It was pretty tough, but I managed to defeat the magma golem just like you asked.
Excellent. But our work is far from over. If we are going to truly win the battle against the golems, you must become stronger. Get yourself some iron armor and weapons, then return to the savannah to seek out the remaining golems there. We must eradicate them from the land.
Oh, that sounds kind of intense.
Don't you trust me?
Well, I have no reason not to, so I guess I'll get going. I journeyed to a nearby cave and started looking for some iron ore. After a little while, I managed to find some. Time to make some new gear with this. I used the iron to fashion some iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. As I was getting ready to leave the cave, the obsidian golem appeared. He looked pretty mad.
There you are, Humbaba's evil henchman.
Why do you guys keep saying stuff like that? I'm a good guy.
Good guys don't run around attacking innocent golems.
He attacked me, but I fought back, and before too long, I had managed to defeat him. From day 13 to day 15, I took my new gear and traveled back to the savannah. There has to be some golems around here somewhere. As I was exploring, I spotted a raccoon cowering behind a tree. Excuse me, have you seen any golems making trouble around here?
Eek! Please don't hurt me!
What? I'm not gonna hurt you.
And you were here earlier, fighting the magma golem.
So that I can help free the animals, like you. I'm trying to help.
Help? I didn't need your help. That magma golem was my friend. He just threw me a birthday party last week. You're ruining everything. You and your horrible boss.
I decided to leave the raccoon alone before I made matters worse. Something feels wrong. I'd better go back to Humbaba and talk to him about this. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the ancient forest to ask Humbaba what the heck was going on. I'm probably just misunderstanding, or maybe that raccoon had me mixed up with someone else. When I got there, Humbaba looked really busy, but I decided to talk to him anyway. Hey, so when I got to the savannah, there was this raccoon and…
I don't have time for this. I have important matters to attend to. Come back when you've done what I asked.
Jeez, he's in a bad mood. I decided to go back to my base so I could take a moment to think. When I got there, Dave the Drop Bear was waiting for me.
Zozo, it's a mess, mate. That Humbaba friend of yours is attacking a bunch of animals and golems in the savannah. It's chaos.
What? That doesn't sound like him. I'll go check it out. I rushed there as fast as I could, and sure enough, Humbaba was stomping around and attacking everyone in sight. What are you doing?
Don't tell me you've lost your nerve now. I'm just doing what needs to be done, reclaiming my rightful place on the throne as king of the beasts.
Wait a second, you're not trying to help anyone. You just want to be in charge again.
Took you long enough to figure it out.
You tricked me! I couldn't stand there and watch anymore. I ran at him with my sword drawn and attacked, but he was too strong. He knocked me down with only one hit. I tried to get back up, but he hit me again, and everything went dark. From day 20 to day 22, I finally woke up, still in the savannah. I couldn't see Humbaba anywhere. Must have knocked me out and finished what he started. This place is a disaster. I can't believe he misled me like that. I feel like such a fool. I'm so sorry, everyone. If you need a place to stay while your homes are rebuilt, you can go to my base. After I gave them the invitation, I traveled back to my base to make some much-needed improvements. We don't have enough room for guests right now. I'll need to expand. I built an additional room, and I was going to add more, but only Dave the Drop Bear showed up.
Sure, it's okay for me to stay here.
Definitely. Welcome home.
Thanks, mate. For what it's worth, I don't think you're bad. You were doing what you thought was right. Now you know better. It's never too late to turn things around and fight for the good guys.
From day 23 to day 26, I decided to go back to where I started, before Humbaba filled my head with lies, the Alps. When I got there, I saw a vicious hellhound chasing after a poor, defenseless roadrunner. Now's my chance to do something good and actually start helping people who need it. Hold on, I'll save you.
Meep meep, hurry! I can't run this fast forever!
I sprang into action, running as fast as I could, and jumped in front of the hellhound, blocking its path. With my iron sword, I managed to hold back the beast and rescue the roadrunner from its jaws. But it wasn't defeated yet. The roadrunner ran off down the road, leaving me to finish my battle with the hellhound. I was worried I wouldn't make it, but I finally managed to defeat it. As I stood there, catching my breath, I felt my hearts increase to 50, and I gained the ability to climb walls. From day 27 to day 31, I found some lost sheep wandering around the Alps. They didn't have anywhere to stay, so I invited them to come live at my base. I quickly traveled back to my base to build a pen for the sheep. There, perfect for some sheep to sleep. Haha, sleep sheep, that rhymes.
Sure does, mate. Hey, if you're done improvising poetry about farm animals, wanna come see what I built?
Sure. I followed Dave into the base, and he showed me a new room that wasn't there before.
Yeah, it's a storage room. We can keep all sorts of things in here. Armor, swords, boomerangs, you name it.
That's great! Thank you so much! Meanwhile, back in the ancient forest, Humbaba had found a new henchman, someone terrifying and powerful, a Slaven warder, ready to follow his every order.
Zozo's foolishness might have delayed my plans a little, but with your help, we can still erase all golems from this land and make me king again. Yes, my liege. All shall bow before you or perish.
From day 32 to day 35, I returned to the Alps and made my way to the golem base where I was held prisoner before. I had to make things right with the golems and show them that I was on their side. The obsidian golem there wasn't very happy to see me.
You dare show your face here again? After all you've done, I should have you locked up and throw away the key.
Wait, don't! He ran at me and attacked me, but I dodged. I'm not here to fight. I want to say I'm sorry. I was tricked by Humbaba. I thought you guys were the danger, but I know better now. I want to help.
If you truly wish to help, then there is someone you should meet. Follow me.
He led me to a wise ancient gold golem.
Hello, my son.
I'm your son? There's not much family resemblance.
It's just an expression, but I should warn you, if you wish to aid us in the battle against Humbaba, you are in for a difficult fight. Once, he was the king of the beasts, but he took that title by force, by terrifying and imprisoning all animals that opposed him. The golems freed the animals, and he swore revenge. Now it seems the time has come for him to try and take his power back.
We can't let him!
I agree. Fight valiantly, young Zozo. I will help you however I can.
From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to my base, thinking about the gold golem's words. This is going to be a difficult fight, so I need some better equipment. I'd better find some more iron. I went back down into the cave and mined until I had enough iron to finish my set of armor. While I was looking, I found a few diamonds too. I'll bring these back to the base to use later.
Crikey, look what I found. Zozo, look at this.
I followed the sound of Dave's voice and saw what he was talking about, a Kyther. Awesome, let's bring it back with us. When Dave and I got back to the base, there was a prismarine golem waiting for us.
Zozo, the gold golem sent me to find you. You need to come meet with him immediately. It's a matter of life and death.
Then I guess I gotta go fast. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the Alps to find what the gold golem so urgently wanted to tell me.
Zozo, thank you for getting here so quickly. I have important information for you about Humbaba's grand scheme. You see...
But before he could finish his sentence, we were both interrupted by a huge crashing sound. I turned and saw a Slaven warder attacking the golem base.
I am here for the head of the traitorous Zozo.
You can't have my head. I need it for thinking of stuff.
Face me and fight, little coward.
I'm not a coward, but I know an unfair fight when I see one. No thanks. I ran away from the Slaven warder and in the process ran into the gold golem again.
Run, Zozo, protect yourself. We can handle ourselves here. The golems are used to doing battle with Humbaba's many goons.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Then I won't. You know what to do.
I ran out of there as fast as I could as the Slaven warder continued trying to tear the base apart. From day 44 to day 49, I was laying low at my base, still shaken from seeing the relentless attack of the Slaven warder. It's lucky that I'm the fastest thing alive, or I don't know how I would have escaped that monster. I need to be more careful. Soon after that, I got a personal visit from the Gold Golem, and for once, he had some good news for me.
Zozo, my son, lend me your ear.
Gold Golem, I'm so glad you're okay, and that your obsidian golems managed to repel the attack.
We did, at a great cost. My men are rebuilding the base as best they can, but more importantly, I have been studying the sacred texts for answers to our Humbaba problem, and I think I may have what we need.
Oh, tell me, Gold Golem, please!
A battle axe buried somewhere deep and dark, once wielded by a great hero who used it to slay some ancient evil. The legends say that the battle axe still has some of his power.
That sounds like exactly what we need to defeat Humbaba. Where can we find it?
This is where my knowledge ends. You must journey to the savannah and find the Glowstone Golem Elder. Perhaps he will have the answers that you seek.
Thankfully, with my speed, it won't take me long to get there. From day 50 to day 53, I used my super speed to reach the savannah in record time. I waited until nightfall, knowing it would be a lot easier to find the glowstone golem in the dark. When the darkness crept in, I started my search, running end to end in the savannah until I saw a distinctive glow in the middle of a clearing. I approached and saw him standing there, as though he knew I was coming. The Glowstone Golem! Glowstone Golem, my name is Zozo, and I humbly come to you, searching for help in defeating a great evil.
Speak!
My friend, the Gold Golem, told me of an ancient battle axe that might be able to defeat the evil Humbaba. Do you know where I could find such an axe?
It would not matter if you could find it.
Wait, what do you mean?
You are not strong enough to wield that ancient battle axe. When you are ready to use it, only then will you find it.
What?
I have spoken. Away with you, Zozo. Do not seek the battle axe. The battle axe will seek you, if you deserve it.
And like that, the conversation was over. I went back to my base, moving much more slowly this time, feeling completely defeated. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to the Alps, planning on telling the Gold Golem the bad news, that his Glowstone Elder hadn't told me anything useful. But that's when something even worse happened. The terrifying Slaven warder hopped out right in front of me.
There you are, you sad little glittery worm! You dared defy the great King Humbaba, and you keep running away from the justice you so richly deserve!
Why do you work for him, Warder? He's no king. He's just a bully who thinks he's the best. Don't you know he thinks you're just as below him as everyone else?
Of course I'm below him. He is the king, and we are all his loyal subjects. We exist to serve him, and those who refuse to serve him shouldn't exist, including you, Zozo.
The Slaven warder immediately lunged at me, and one attack from him took off a scary number of hearts. There was no way I could fight him off like this. I just needed to run away as fast as I could, which thankfully, as supersonic, was really, really fast. Meanwhile, at Humbaba's base, his evil plot was marching ever further.
So, Zozo is seeking out the battle axe. Excellent. He'll do all the hard work, and then I'll take it from him. I'm so good at this.
From day 58 to day 62, I came back to my base, still feeling jittery from my encounter with the Slaven warder. I need to get stronger weapons and armor. If I don't, I could be toast if I get ambushed by Humbaba or his Slaven warder. But at least, when I arrived at my base again, Dave the Drop Bear had some cool news for me.
Zozo, me old cobber, I've been working on a bit of a construction project while you were gone. For starters, I made a furnace for all your smelting needs, but I've also been working on putting together a bunker in case everything goes sideways.
This is awesome, Dave. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, I've been running low on stone. You could go and get me some. That'd be a huge help, mate.
Happy to have something to take my mind off of the threats at hand, I went to a nearby cave to mine Dave some extra stone. But while I was down there, I also got lucky and found some diamonds. Finally, my luck is starting to change. I went back to the base and gave Dave a bunch of stone blocks, and then visited the furnace to forge some new items with my diamonds. A diamond helmet, a diamond sword, and a diamond pickaxe. Let's see that Slaven warder try to mess with me now. From day 63 to day 66, I met with the gold golem at my base again. He'd managed to make a good break in the case.
After studying further texts, I found a potential answer to our troubles, Zozo. Interpreting all the clues, I believe that the battle axe may be in the Brimstone Caverns, where it is guarded by a terrible beast.
That's at least 50% good news. Do you have any idea how I can enter the Brimstone Caverns?
I've heard tell of a secret door somewhere in the ancient forest that leads directly to the Brimstone Caverns without a nether portal. Let us go and find it. There is no time to waste.
Gold Golem and I ran out into the ancient forest, searching for the legendary door, and eventually we did find it. There was only one problem. It was locked. Is there any way you can open it with magic, Gold Golem?
I'm afraid only a special key can open a door like that, Zozo.
Oh, figures. From day 67 to day 70, with the key still out of reach, I decided I'd build some extra strength by helping the Gold Golem with a favor up in the Alps.
A powerful Tartarus has been rampaging through the Alps. I don't believe it works with Humbaba or any of his men, but his threat needs to be neutralized one way or another. He's too distracting to our mission.
I'll see what I can do. It'll be nice to feel like I've done something useful for once. Using my supersonic super speed, I blasted my way through the Alps until I came upon the Tartarus. It was as big and scary as I expected, but I pulled out my diamond sword and jumped into the fight. It wasn't easy, but eventually I fought the monster to a standstill, but I didn't destroy it. Instead, I spoke to it.
You are a valiant fighter, stranger. I admire your strength and grit. What would you ask of me?
Just stop causing trouble around here, okay? The golems have enough to deal with right now.
I respect your wishes. Good luck on your quest.
True to his word, the Tartarus left the Alps. From day 71 to day 74, I returned to my base, only to see that someone had completely wrecked it. Confused and afraid, I ran in to see what had happened. Thankfully, Dave the Drop Bear was okay, and he told me the whole story.
It was terrible, Zozo. That nasty blighter, the Slaven warder, showed up and attacked the base. He was looking for you, and he was turning everything upside down trying to find you. And when he didn't, he just stole that Carther I found for you a few weeks ago.
I'm sick of that heinous henchman. No more being cowardly. I'm going to hunt that creep down and fight him on his own territory.
That sounds like a plan, Zozo. That nasty Slaven warder has had it too good for too long.
As I prepared the plan for my counterattack, Humbaba, back at his base, was refining a plan of his own.
We have the door. My minion has the key. When Zozo takes it and clears the path for me, the battle axe will be mine.
From day 75 to day 78, Dave the Drop Bear had fully repaired the base and added a perimeter wall in case someone came to attack the base again. We still left a door in the front for visitors, such as the Gold Golem, who came over to give me a gift before I led my assault on the Slaven warder.
I have a gift for you, Zozo. A firework crossbow. It's a powerful ranged weapon that may give you the advantage you need.
Wow, Gold Golem, this is awesome! Thank you!
We have a lot riding on this quest, Zozo. I have reason to believe that the Slaven warder may hold the key to opening the door in the ancient forest. If you can defeat the warder, you can defeat Humbaba once and for all.
Finally understanding the true importance of my mission, I took the firework crossbow and left to battle the Slaven warder outside of Humbaba's base. From day 79 to day 84, I arrived outside Humbaba's base, ready to face the Slaven warder. He was waiting outside, like he knew that I was coming.
I will destroy you now, Zozo, to show my loyalty to my beloved king!
That might be the saddest thing I've ever heard, dude. I fired my firework crossbow at him, stunning him before running in with my super speed and delivering a volley of attacks with my diamond sword. I never gave up, just striking him again and again. Once my assault was over, the Slaven warder was destroyed, and I had enough XP to level up again. I reached full power and full speed with 100 hearts and a whirlwind attack. The Slaven warder also dropped both my Kythar and a key to the door in the ancient forest. Huh, that's convenient. Still, I can't look a Slaven warder in the mouth. Time to go and get that battle axe. And so, I set off back towards my base, having no idea that I was playing right into Humbaba's hands. From day 85 to day 89, before heading to the door in the ancient forest, I arrived at my base to give Dave the Drop Bear the good news.
So you found the key after all. Good on you, mate. Since we're sharing good news, I'm pretty much done with the defense bunker. If you want, you can add the final block.
I'd be honored to, Dave. I added the last block, finishing the bunker for good, and then I ran over to the ancient forest door. It's now or never. Time to get this battle axe. I unlocked the door and went inside. The brimstone caverns were dark and frightening, and I remembered what the gold golem had told me about the frightening monster guarding the battle axe. And then I ran into the monster, a huge, scary Cerberus. Good doggy? I unleashed a whirlwind attack on the Cerberus and then pulled out my Kyther. The Cerberus was one of the toughest and most vicious enemies I'd faced, but in the end, I defeated it. The battle axe was mine. From day 90 to day 94, I was ready to leave the Brimstone Caverns with my battle axe and defeat Humbaba and his evil minions once and for all. I expected I'd need to go all the way to his base to fight him, but no. He was waiting for me in the Brimstone Caverns, staring into my soul.
Thank you for collecting my battle axe for me, Zozo. I would have done it myself, but being the king of beasts is busy work.
Me and the other animals will never accept you as our king. You have no authority.
Oh, believe me, Zozo. With that axe, I have all the authority I need. No golem nor beast will be able to stand against me. Because I'm feeling generous, I'll give you one more chance. Since the slave in water is gone, I need a new second in command. It could be you.
It'll never be me. Ever!
Fine, then perish.
And just like that, the ground exploded beneath me, and I fell down into a chasm in the floor. I was knocked out, and when I woke up, I realized that the battle axe was gone from my inventory. Oh no, Humbaba must have taken it! From day 95 to day 97, I used my wall climbing ability to get out of the pit that Humbaba had trapped me in. With the battle axe, I had no way of knowing what terrible things he could be getting up to now. I left the Brimstone Caverns at light speed, needing to get to the Alps and warn the gold golem that Humbaba was probably going to come straight for them. And I was right, but I was too late to do anything about it. The golem's fortress was in ruins, and the only survivor, the gold golem, was barely clinging on to life. I ran in and tried to help him, but it was too late.
Zozo, you're alive, so that monster lied. That's a small solace, at least.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't here in time to save you, gold golem. You did so much for me, and I let you down.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. You need to go back to your base. That's where he'll be heading next. Go, quickly, before it's too late, my son.
The gold golem was right. As he passed on, I ran off in the direction of my base as quickly as I possibly could. On day 98, I returned to my base, only to find that more terrible things had unfolded. The whole place was in ruins, and Dave the Drop Bear was hiding behind a piece of mostly destroyed wall, trying to remain hidden. Oh no, even moving at the speed of sound, I still wasn't fast enough to stop Humbaba. When he heard my voice, Dave finally felt safe enough to emerge.
Crikey, Zozo, I thought you were a goner. I'm so happy you're okay, mate. I'm only alive because I hid inside the bunker we made.
I'm so sorry that I didn't get back in enough time to stop Humbaba from doing all of this. I don't even have the battle axe anymore. He took that too. We've got no hope of stopping him.
Don't talk like that, Zozo. You've gotten us this far. I just know you can take us the rest of the way. You're the fastest thing alive, aren't you? If that nasty creep stole the battle axe, who better than you to steal it back and end all of this?
You're right, Dave. I need to run towards this, not away from it. It's time for us to finally win. So, at the speed of sound, I set off to take back what was rightfully ours. On day 99, I blasted through the ancient forest towards Humbaba's base. Nothing would stop me from getting inside and stealing back that axe. You're gonna regret ever messing with this supersonic Humbaba. I arrived and did a super jump over the wall, clearing it effortlessly. When I landed, I saw Humbaba standing there, seeming surprised to see me.
Are you here to submit to me, Zozo?
Nope. I'm not here for you at all. I sped off, running away from Humbaba and traveling deeper into his base until I came upon a chest that looked important. I looked inside and found exactly what I was looking for, the battle axe. I could feel the power, the strength, and the pull of destiny. I was ready to take on the beast that had caused so many people so much pain and get rid of him and his evil for good. On day 100, full of power and fury, as well as my incredible speed, I returned to Humbaba, wielding the battle axe I'd taken back from him. The wannabe king of beasts was waiting for me.
Are you this eager to be destroyed, Zozo? You're traveling towards a dead end at the speed of sound. All the chances I've given you to give up and swear fealty to me, your true king.
The only thing you're the king of is being an arrogant windbag. I'm sick of hearing you brag and posture about how cool you are when all you do is destroy things. You're not a ruler, you're a monster.
If I'm a monster, Zozo, come and slay me if you think you are strong enough.
Careful what you wish for, your highness. The battle was on! Using my supersonic speed, I unleashed a whirlwind on Humbaba, throwing him off his rhythm. But I didn't stop there. I sped in and struck him with the battle axe, moving too fast for him to hit me or defend himself. I struck him again and again, knowing that soon it'd finally be over. And then it was. Humbaba had been destroyed, and I was the one who did it. Humbaba will never destroy or enslave anyone ever again. We're all free. On day 1, I spawned into the Aspen Forest as a speaker man. 10 hearts? Uh-oh, I better play this safe or I'm gonna be in real trouble. But I didn't have time to form a strategy. Suddenly, the trees started setting fire around me. Some even exploded. What's happening here? Out of the fire stomped my worst nightmare, the many-legged, fully operational G-Man Spider Toilet, the leader of the Skibidi Toilet Army. Oh no, you're the last thing I wanted to see.
I'm the last thing you'll ever see, Speaker Man. The Skibidi Army will conquer this world, just like it conquered all the others.
Not if my speakers have anything to say about it.
Speak to this.
He blasted me with his laser eyes, knocking me off my rhythm. He was far too strong to fight. All I could do was turn around and run. I ran through the woods, hoping to avoid the laser blasts. When the G-Man was gone from view, I took a moment to relax, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. Literally and figuratively. A swarm of normal Skibidi Toilet came out of the trees, all fixed with malicious intent on me. I was outnumbered and out of luck until Sonic Boom! A blast of sound fired out of me, pushing back the advancing toilet squadron. That gave me just enough time to turn and get the heck out of Dodge. The Skibidis are here already. I need to warn the Alliance before they take this world too. On day 2, I went into survival mode deep in the Aspen Forest. My commander must have sent me here to investigate the Skibidi threat on other worlds, but I won't be able to do anything without the proper tools. I found some peach trees and broke them down for wood, piling logs and logs of it into my inventory, along with some sticks. I gathered some peaches, which I ate to refill my hunger bar. Can't be a good soldier if I don't have healthy rations. I built myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I dug up my first stone blocks and made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And as if on cue, a gaggle of standard Skibidi Toilets came rolling out of the tree line. Skibidi, 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 Skibidi. So sick of hearing that already. With my new stone sword and my sonic booms, I fought them until the entire squad was defeated. Whew, that wasn't easy, but at least I've cleared the area now. Maybe I should make a base here. With the spare wood I'd collected earlier, I started building myself a basic one-room base. It isn't much, but every war effort needs to start somewhere. On day 3, I headed out into the canyons. There, I could find plenty of stone to harvest. A wooden base is fine for a start, but given some of my enemies have laser eyes, I need something a little stronger. I was halfway through mining stone blocks out of the canyon walls when I saw some strange bony creatures flying above above, soul vultures. One flew straight down towards me and started circling me.
Yeah, fresh meat. Haven't seen one like you before.
Ah, stop biting! I'm from another world, and I'm here to save you all from a terrible threat.
Shush now, speaker boy. Food doesn't talk.
The soul vultures descended on me, and there were too many of them to fight off, even with my sonic booms. All I could do was turn and run before they picked me to the bone. I guess not all of the creatures here are unified against our common enemy, but that didn't mean everything here was against me. On my way back through the canyon, I ran into a mandrill sitting alone. She looked upset. Is everything okay, Miss Mandrill?
My name's Mandy, and now everything is terrible. Those diabolical toilets. They destroyed my home and took everything from me.
Those blasted skibbity toilets! Come with me, Mandy. I'll let you stay at my base. I'm Zozo, and together, we'll get revenge on the porcelain monsters who did this to you.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. You're a hero.
She left with me as we made our way back across the treacherous canyons. From day 4 to day 5, I returned back to my base in the Aspen Forest with Mandy the Mandrill. I decided I should start from scratch, so I tore down my starter base and used the materials I'd collected to remake my base. I ended up going for a toilet base. The plan is to pretend to be one of the skibbity toilets. I bet they won't suspect a thing. Inside the toilet, I even built a new room for Mandy, giving her a bed and some furniture in there. Figuring we could use some extra luxuries, I also built a kitchen and a lounge, so we could start to feel a little more at home in this strange new place. She seemed delighted with it.
Wow, Zozo, this is amazing. I'm going to rest here and get my energy back. Thank you for all you've done.
Rest well, Mandy. When you're fully recuperated, we'll talk strategy. Mandy retired to her room while I conducted a perimeter search around the area. I needed to make sure that no one found the new base suspicious. That was a good instinct because a squad of skibbity toilets were right in front of me. I'm putting my war face on. Or I would, if I had a face. I drew my sword and fought them to the last bowl. It wasn't easy, but in the end, my battle experience served me well, and they were destroyed. And even better, once they were gone, they left behind a new tool, an anti-skibbity chemical blaster. Just falling into my hands is probably the last thing that they wanted. I'm gonna make them regret it. From day 6 to day 8, I left for a pasture outside the forest, knowing that we'd need some more natural resources for the base. It was just my luck to happen upon some pigs. Our army is gonna need rations. Pork and bacon will do nicely. I herded some pigs back to the base and built a sty for them in just the right spot. I don't have that many pigs, all things considered. That's why I returned to the pasture, ready to shepherd some more. Then, boom! A rocket hit the ground next to me, causing a massive explosion. It left me badly injured. And even worse, when the explosion cleared, I saw the G-Man spider toilet skittering towards me.
Your end is nigh, speaker boy. None shall stop the Skibbity army.
Before I even had time to equip my blaster, he unleashed his full arsenal, firing rockets and his laser eyes. There was no way I could fight him, especially injured. All I could do was run away, dodging as best as I could. G-Man was not a force to be messed with. Thankfully, in the end, I still got out of there, injured, humiliated, but alive. From day 9 to day 10, I was back at the base, still recovering from G-Man's devastating surprise attack. He was still a lot stronger than I'd possibly accounted for, but at least I wasn't alone. Mandy the Mandrill approached me while I was in bed with some encouraging words.
You helped me, Zozo. And now, I'm gonna help you. The war effort against the Skibbity Toilet Army won't work unless we all pull together. Go look outside. I've made you something that I think will help inspire you.
I went outside and saw that Mandy had been constructing the start of a huge, amazing statue. I couldn't tell what it was yet. I was so excited to see it when it was finished. Can you guess what it's gonna be? If you can, tell me down in the comments, cause I have no idea. But the statue wasn't the only thing Mandy had been working on. It turned out she was a pretty talented architect. That's why she was able to build a storage room, perfect for the weapons and armors we'd need for an army. She'd also built a training room where we could train ourselves and the anti-skibbity soldiers, and a furnace for smelting metals. Well, I better get my hands on some then. From day 11 to day 12, I was working in the training room, trying to hone my warrior skills. Mandy the Mandrill came in to join me soon after.
Thank you for taking me in, Zozo. I want to do everything I can to help you in the war effort.
That's good to hear, Mandy. We can't let G-Man and his minions take over the world. It'd be catastrophic.
Who or what exactly is this G-Man and all his Skibbity Toilet minions anyhow?
They're world-conquering monsters, self-replicating, self-motivating. They'll take over everything and leave nothing behind. They tried to do it in my world, and I think my commanders back at the Alliance must have sent me here to stop it from happening here.
That sounds horrible, Zozo. But how can we possibly stop them? There are so many of them, and they're so powerful.
All we can do is fight, Mandy. Fight with everything we've got. That way, even if we lose, we'll lose honorably.
Sounds like a plan to me, Zozo. We'll never let those evil toilets win.
From day 13 to day 15, I went back to the canyons to settle an old score. How can I be expected to be a good soldier and take on the Skibidi army if I can't even beat some soul vultures? The second I saw one of them circling above me, I couldn't help but feel nervous. Then, it spotted me and swooped down to engage.
Back again, Speaker Boy? Good. I was feeling rather peckish.
You don't know what you're doing, Vulture. This is a war. It's Skibidi toilets versus everything else. You don't think they'll come for you too?
War is our bread and butter, Speaker. Skibidi toilets, speakers, animals, all the same meat to us. We just enjoy the remains on the battlefield.
Then I guess I better take you down! But the Soul Vulture wasn't alone. The whole flock came swooping in, and I needed to use my sonic booms to take them all down one by one. When they were defeated, I had enough XP to level up, becoming bigger, stronger, and getting a boost to 24 hearts. But most importantly of all, I developed a new offensive capability, Energy Blast! Oh yeah, that's more like it! From day 16 to day 19, I realized that I needed to create weapons for the war effort against the toilets. That's why I ventured into an abandoned mining cavern beneath the first, ready to take on whatever I needed to in order to win the war. And I came up against resistance straight away, a deadly blaze creeper. It started shooting fireballs at me. I tried to take it down from a distance, but it wasn't working. I got closer, and he just exploded. That was dangerous. Hope I don't encounter any more of these. I should check if he dropped any useful loot. I approached the creeper hole, but instead of finding loot, the explosion uncovered a rich vein of iron ore. Exactly what I was here for. I collected up as much iron as I could, then returned to my base. I used the furnace to smelt it, and used some spare sticks to make a couple of iron swords. I kept one sword for myself, and put the other in my training room. With these, I can start to arm an anti-Skibidi army of my own. With the spare iron, I made myself an iron pickaxe. This would be perfect if I ever got hands on some diamonds. From day 20 to day 22, I was woken up with a start by Mandy the Mandrill. She was hopping around in a blind panic.
Zozo, you need to wake up.
What's happening, Mandy? You're confusing me.
G-Man, he's right outside. Said something about wanting to stamp out the resistance personally.
Oh no, then I better get out there and stop him. I grabbed my weapons and ran out to face G-Man. He wasted no time in firing one of his rockets, which barely missed me.
You've gotten stronger, Speaker Boy, but not strong enough. You think you can stop the ravages of war? We will consume all. The Skibidi rampage will never end. You're not a wall. You're barely even a speed bump.
All this talk, G-Man. I think it's because you're afraid. But I'm not about talk, I'm about action. Let's fight, you clogged up toilet. The battle began. He blasted me with his laser eyes, but I was much stronger than I used to be. I volleyed sonic booms and energy blasted him, and when those had thrown him off balance, I pulled out my Skibidi blaster and let him have it. Clearly, it was all a little too much for him. He broke away from the battle and used his rockets to destroy the blocks between us.
You got lucky, Speaker Boy. Next time, my minions will deactivate you for good.
He skittered off into the desert. Think I saw a crack in its ceramic armor. Maybe I can win this war after all. From day 23 to day 26, I worked tirelessly in order to build an upgraded weapon that might turn the tide of the war against the insidious Skibidi toilets. I had to enhance my own individual abilities so that the next time I met G-Man, I could deal some real damage to him. Since fighting with music was my specialty as a speaker man, I chose to make a guitar weapon that would amplify the sonic frequencies of my speaker head. What an awesome idea for a weapon! I went into the training room to start trying it out on some blocks and found it was insanely effective. Now I'm loud and proud. Proud to be a devoted soldier fighting back against the forces of Skibidi, that is. And if you want to support the cause and help me in my other crazy adventures, remember to search ZOZO in order to find more of my videos. But for now, I'm going to get back to preparing for the battle so that we can win this war. From day 27 to day 31, I was baking some peach pies when Mandy came over to tell me she completed more of the statue and wanted to show me her progress.
This way, Zozo. It's really
really cool.
Okay, wait for me. I followed Mandy out to the area where the statue was being built and gazed in wonder at what it had already become. This would certainly inspire the troops to fight, but I couldn't help but feel as though something was missing. Hey Mandy, don't you think that part could use a bit of red concrete? You know, to really make it stand out?
You're right. I totally see that. But it's pretty rare around these parts. You'll have to travel to the Grad Gardens for it.
I've never been there before, but if it's for the statue, I'll do it.
Be careful out there, Zozo. The Skibidi enemies are everywhere.
You know me, I'm always careful, especially in enemy territory. Within a couple days' journey, I found myself in the Crag Gardens. Just as I had feared, the Skibidi toilets had already spread to this biome too.
Skibbity, 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 skibbity.
A bunch of them came at me all at once, so I pulled out my guitar and started swinging away. The sonic waves were more than they could have, and were able to quickly defeat them all. When there were no more Skibidi toilets in the area, I found out what they were guarding. It's a treasure chest with a whole bunch of red concrete and some extra red nether bricks. My quest was not in vain. I gathered the material and began to make my way out of the Crag Gardens. From day 32 to day 35, I was attacked by another pair of Skibidi toilets while on my way out of the Crag Gardens. This is bad. There are more of them here than I thought. I struck them down with my guitar and scanned the area for more of the enemy. Thankfully, there weren't any more Skibidi toilets, but there was a swamp pig.
There was me.
You should get to safety. This whole biome is crawling with those creepy Skibidi monsters.
I want to, but not without my best friend Otto the Ocelot. He was taken by a Skibidi spider, and now he's trapped.
Those Skibidi fiends! I've been fighting against them for as long as I remember.
Maybe you can help me get Otto back.
I'll be all over it, like flies on trash. From day 36 to day 39, I followed the swamp pig's directions to the lair of the Skibidi spider that took his friend. It sounded dangerous, so I went along to spare the swamp pig from the troubles of the battlefield. When I got to the enemy base, I went into stealth mode and searched around for an entrance. I could hear the telltale annoying song of the Skibidi toilets from inside the base, and that told me that I was getting close to where the Skibidi spider was.
Skibbity bop bop, yes, yes. Skibbity bop, neep, neep.
Please stop! Someone get me out of this toilet! I can't deal with any more of this song!
I looked and could see that Otto the Ocelot was inside a dungeon cell in the base, forced to listen to the song of the Skibidi spider over and over. That's terrible. I need to do something, but I need to be smart about it. Maybe if I tune my guitar a bit, I'll be able to take them by surprise with a new sound. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck inside the mini base and hid myself from the ordinary Skibidi toilet soldiers. All I have to do is deal with the Skibidi spider who is guarding the ocelot, then I'll be able to extract him and escape. I quietly, carefully made my way to the center of the lair and over to the cell where Otto the ocelot was held captive.
Let me go! You've held me captive for many days, and I can't help you with your war!
I wouldn't skibbity say that. Your world seems skibbity short on humanoids, so if we want to make more skibbity toilets, we'll have to make skibbity-doo with the animals. You will be the first ocelot to ever join the skibbities.
No, please! I hate toilets! I try to avoid them!
Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity.
No!
Before Otto could come to harm, I stormed in, isolating the spider. Let that ocelot go, Skibidi spider. I'm the one you want.
I know you. You're that speaker head that G-Man told me about. I'm going to skibbity skin you.
The Skibidi spider charged forth, but I countered with my guitar. Thanks to the tuning I did the other day, my guitar now had greater knockback. Every time the Skibidi spider got close, I bashed him farther away and dodged his approach. It took a while, but with enough whacks, the Skibidi spider went down. Come on, Otto, we're busting out of here. Swamp Pig is waiting for you.
Thank you, Speakerhead!
Otto and I made our stealthy exit from the mini base and returned to the Swamp Pig. The two were happy as could be and promised to get as far from the Skibidi toilets as possible. From day 44 to day 49, I transported the building blocks that I was able to find in the Crag Gardens back to my base in the Aspen Forest. It's good to be back after spending so much time in enemy territory. Our defenses are looking a little thin though. I'll do something about that later. Once I was inside the base, I met up with Mandy, who was just feeding the pigs, and I turned the building blocks over to her.
This is just what we need to continue work on the statue. Was it difficult to get?
Not for me. I'll do anything for the cause.
I'll get back to work on the statue, and here is some bacon for you.
Neat. I'm gonna work on something too. I went back to the perimeter of the base so I could do something about the lacking defenses I spotted earlier. The solution was simple, yet effective. A perimeter wall around the entire base. The Skibidis will have a hard time getting through that. When the wall was done, I went to see Mandy. She had already completed the next part of the statue. Looks like we were both working hard.
It's like you said before, Zozo. Anything for the cause.
That's right, Mandy. We're gonna win this war no matter what. That moment, I felt really inspired. From day 50 to day 53, the G-Man brought a big army of Skibidi toilets to attack the base. The new defenses were able to slow them down, but we were definitely outnumbered. Even so, there was no way I'd give up. It was time to fight. You're going down the drain, you toilets. Skibidi, 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 skibidi. With the knockback of my guitar, I kept the Skibidi toilets at a distance so that I could take them on individually. When they crowded, they were strong, but on their own, I could handle them. Divide and conquer. That reminded me that I was also fighting alone. Oh no. Mandy, I have to make sure she's okay. The G-Man spider toilet had Mandy in his terrible grasp. I almost couldn't watch.
Speaker Boy, you've survived longer than we expected, but the next toilets we send after you will be like nothing you've ever seen. We'll make your mandrill friend into one of them.
I won't let them change me, Zozo, but come and rescue me soon.
Mandy and the G-Man disappeared into the distance. I vowed to myself that I'd get my friend back. But first, I had to take out the rest of these Skibidi toilets. With my trusty weapon, I cleared out the base and began to feel strong as a new form of power took hold within me. I grew into a big speakerhead, feared by Skibidi toilets everywhere. I had 40 hearts and a brand new Ice Blast attack that would freeze the Skibidi enemies solid. From day 54 to day 57, I restored the base to its former glory. The attack had been devastating, but even more devastating was the loss of Mandy, my friend, my fellow soldier, Mandy. If the G-Man made her into the first mandrill Skibidi toilet, I might have to… No, I don't even want to think about that. I have to save her! I was full of concern for the animal mobs of the world because any of them might get turned by the G-Man and his many Skibidi toilet minions. I decided to return to the Crag Garden and see if the Swamp Pig was still around that area. Sure enough, he was.
I'm around the area.
You are! Not to be rude, but weren't you going to go somewhere safer?
There aren't that many safe places left. You did a great job fighting the Skibidi toilets when you were here last time, so me and Otto thought we could hold out here.
This war has gotten really bad. There must be a base of operations where their Skibidi toilets are coming from. If we beat them there, maybe we can stop their armies from spreading.
I've heard that a lot of Skibidi toilets have been seen and heard, coming from the Crimson Forest.
If that's where the enemy is coming from, I have to proceed with caution. Still, this intel might help me save the world. Thanks, Swamp Pig.
I was thanked.
From day 58 to day 62, I mined for some diamonds because it was high time that I got myself some diamond gear. I need to be fully equipped when I face down the Skibidi toilets on their own territory. It's diamond or nothing, man. I walked further through the cave and came to a dead end. I started digging and broke through into a massive cave. It was teeming with diamonds. And one very big tarantula. Oh, spiders are freaky. I don't want to get near this thing, but my anti-Skibidi ranged weapon won't work on it. So melee it is. I drew my guitar and squashed that spider with a few decisive smacks. I wonder if this is where those spider toilets get their legs. You know, I forget I asked. I gathered a bunch of the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and diamond sword. Success! From day 63 to day 66, I was walking by the incomplete statue in the base and decided to spend some time looking at it. Mandy had been doing her best to complete the statue so that it could be seen by all, and I did my best to help by getting the materials for it. We worked together. That was teamwork, and teamwork is the only way we can defeat those Skibidi toilets. I will rescue Mandy and defeat the G-Man and all of his toilets. For the sake of this world and all the creatures living in it, we will win! And if you want to get in on the teamwork, you should hit that subscribe button so that you can see my videos whenever they come out. The more subscribers the channel gets, the bigger our team gets, and the more Skibidi toilets we can defeat. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe! From day 67 to day 70, I infiltrated the Crimson Forest so I could see what was going on behind enemy lines. Before too long, I could see a huge base that definitely belonged to the Skibidi toilets. I bet that is some kind of weapons research lab. You've probably got Mandy held captive inside there. Hang on, Mandy. I won't let them turn you into a Skibidi toilet. I got out my anti-Skibidi chemical blaster and made my way towards the entrance. There were 2 classic model Skibidi toilets standing guard over the gate. Both noticed me and began to run over.
Skibbity, 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 skibbity.
Skibbity dot dot, no! I blasted the Skibidi toilets with the chemicals, which flushed them away for good. This alerted some other toilets, but by then, I was already inside the enemy base. Bring it! I'll flush every one of you! From day 71 to day 74, my devotion to the cause brought me deeper into the enemy's base. I had never been in a place with so many Skibidi toilets, but at this point, I wouldn't let anything stop me. Just one soldier, but if I fight well enough, I can keep taking them on and moving ahead. While I was expecting trouble, I was surprised to see the Soul Vultures had also come to roost in the Skibidi toilet base. Those guys had never been nice or helpful, so the reunion wasn't a happy one. Let me guess, something about meat, like how you're gonna eat me?
Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity.
Huh, Skibidi? Did they get you guys or what?
Nah, just kidding. We Soul Vultures never change. We're all about scavenging and hunting, baby. It's living.
Well, I don't know if I'm relieved or annoyed. Let's just fight. I took out my diamond sword and cut down the Soul Vultures. They weren't that difficult to beat now that I'd powered up. In the same room that I was attacked by the Soul Vultures, I found a chest with a full suit of diamond armor. Super! I can take on the world in this! I could hear the Skibidi song getting deeper and louder, which meant that I was getting close to the G-Man. This'll be the rematch of the century. From day 75 to day 78, I found the evil Skibidi toilet laboratory where the G-Man had been keeping Mandy. They had her caged, but just like she promised, the Skibidi toilets were unable to turn her into one of them.
You made it, Zozo. I was waiting this whole time, and I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I would never leave behind a fellow soldier, Mandy. We're in this together. Let me get you out of those restraints. I freed Mandy and broke a hole in the wall so she could escape. Run back to base. I'll be right behind you. Just then, G-Man's spider toilet burst into the room.
Well. We meet again, Speaker Boy. You're not going to get away this time.
You think I'm running? No way, G-Man. This is where I take you down and end your reign of Skibidi terror.
With those old tricks? I doubt it.
G-Man was right about one thing. He had seen my Sonic Blast and Anti-Skibidi Blast before, but I still had something he hadn't seen yet, my Ice Blast. I continued to hit him with the regular stuff to lull him into a false sense of security. Then, with perfect timing, I Ice Blasted him right in his big creepy face. When he was stunned, I closed into melee range and swung my guitar with all my might over and over. I shot several more Ice Blasts because they seemed to be working. Then I knocked G-Man back into a wall. His spider malfunctioned and started smoking. From the looks of it, the attack had beaten him, or so I thought. From day 79 to day 84, the G-Man spider rose from his fallen state and began to chant his Skibidi song while he grew larger.
Skibbity, 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 skibbity.
G-Man became a truly powerful monster, the strongest Skibidi toilet ever. The peak of their horrible evolution. Uh-oh, I'm not equipped for this.
What's the matter, Speaker Boy? Scared? Even your best weapons can't touch me now. I have gone to a level beyond. Soon, all things will be ruled by the cold porcelain of the Skibidi toilets.
I will never let that happen. Mark my words, I will find a way to counter your new form, just as our side has done for every Skibidi toilet that came before.
But for now, you must run. You must warn all the world that I am coming. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity.
I made a tactical retreat, as the G-Man predicted I would. This next battle would be a difficult one, but maybe, just maybe, it could win the war. From day 85 to day 89, I had made it back to my base, and had begun thinking of a new strategy to take down G-Man's Skibidi Spider Toilet's brand new Super Deluxe Skibidi mode. I was stumped because the previous fight forced me to use every weapon I had at my disposal. As I continued to puzzle, Mandy showed up and decided to help me come up with a new weapon. Any ideas, Mandy?
Yes, you've tried Sonic, Energy, Chemical, and Ice. But what about fire?
Mandy gave me a fire aspect enchantment to put on my diamond sword. Now I could burn up Skibidi toilets with fiery sword slashes. But will it be enough?
Don't worry about that right now. I want you to see the statue. It's completed, and it looks great.
The statue was the Titan Speaker Man, an inspiration for all speaker heads everywhere. Looking upon his imposing form reminded me that I could keep fighting and win this war. But how? We're so close. Yet G-Man is so powerful.
He isn't invincible. You nearly beat him last time as you are right now. If you grow to his size, it'll be an even fight.
You're right. Another power-up would be exactly what I need to win the battle.
I'll bet there's some skibidi tech you could steal from their own base in the Crag Gardens.
From day 90 to day 94, I made my way back to the enemy stronghold in the Crag Gardens in search of a power-up that would make me as strong as G-Man. This time I didn't need to go to stealth mode because I blasted my way through the base with the fire and ice, taking down every skibidi toilet I met along the way. I wasn't even losing hearts fighting these skibidi toilets anymore. They weren't even a threat. Only G-Man were the same. After a bit of a search, I found what I was looking for, a potion of power that could turn anyone into a super strong version of themselves. I'll examine this back at my base and make sure it's safe to drink. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at the base experimenting with the potion and gearing up to take on G-Man when I got a surprise visit from somebody I never expected. It was Swamp Pig.
Hey, what's cooking? You cooking up the Diamond Armor?
I'm warming up to take down the G-Man. Let's not question my methods, okay? Anyways, what's up, Swamp Pig?
Okay. I just came by to say that the world is a lot safer now that you defeated most of those skibidi toilets. If you can take down the G-Man boss, then this war will be over at last. I want to help with that, so I'm giving you this.
Swamp Pig handed over a full set of netherite armor, the best defense I could have for the final battle. Dang, Swamp Pig, where did you find this?
In the swamp, obviously.
That explains everything. Anyway, thanks. I equipped the armor and felt cooler already. On day 98, the war was looming, and I was starting to get a little nervous about the fight. Then, I remembered what I was fighting for. A world safe from skibidi toilets. Think that all of us would like to see that. What else would you like to see? Tell me who you want me to be next in the comments below. Don't forget to go search for more Zozo videos as well. There are so many to watch, and all of them have their own amazing stories and fun. That's ZOZO. Go check it out. On day 99, I launched my attack on the Crimson Forest, finding it mostly deserted. I walked past the reception, the corridors, a terrarium where I found a vent shaft through, which I crawled deep into the base. It's incredible. I can't hear any silly skibidi songs. Maybe they packed up and left. I kept crawling until the shaft gave way to my weight, and I dropped and landed right in front of G-Man.
You wish, Speaker Boy. Skibidi will never die as long as there is someone to carry on the chorus.
It was G-Man.
It was me.
Hey, that's Swamp Pig's joke. You can't steal it.
Actually, I can. Everything in the world belongs to Skibidi now. I am too powerful to be Skibidi Stop Doop Doop. Yes, yes. Your reckoning is upon you, Speaker Boy.
You know something, G-Man? They say everybody wants to rule the world. I don't know if that's true. I just know that you won't get to. I downed the potion of power, immediately growing to the same size as G-Man with 100 hearts. He fired his laser at me, but I could fire one too now, so I counter-lasered him. I'm a firing my laser! He was not expecting that, so I mixed it up with Ice Blast, Chemical Blast, and Sonic Blast. We circled around each other, closing in as we launched projectiles. I drew my fire-enchanted diamond sword and swatted him with it. The fire seemed to hurt, but I wouldn't let him adapt, so I kept changing my attack. Ice Blast, Fire Slash, Laser Blast! The fight was tense and close, but with all my different weapons and my dedication to rid the world of skibidi toilets, I managed to flush G-Man for good!
Ah, Skibidi, no!
On day 100, I basked in the glow of my victory, no, of our victory, as I returned to base and celebrated with Mandy and Swamp Pig.
Hooray! Zozo is our hero. The skibidi toilets are gone for good.
This was an achievement that would go down in the history books, because together, with all of our crafts and innovations, we did something that nobody else had done. Defeat the G-Man skibidi toilet and save the world from skibidi domination. On day 1, I spawned into the prairie as an awesome venom dragon! Whoa, that must be what happens when an alien symbiote fuses with a dragon! I wonder what awesome powers this will give me! But I didn't have much time to think about what awesome powers being a symbiote-infused dragon would get me, because I suddenly saw a small group of heavily armored royal guards running towards me! Uh-oh, those guys look a little sinister! I should get out of here! I turned and ran as far from the royal guards as I could, but I was only a baby venom dragon with 10 hearts, so I didn't have that much energy. Still, I was able to outrun the royal guards and stop to rest. Jeez, I just got here, and already I've got gangs of armored goons running after me. What's going on here?
Your capture is going on here, knave.
I turned and saw one of the royal guards standing right behind me. I haven't done anything wrong.
Trespassing and suspicious behavior. Our master, the Chief Evoker, demands that we take in any possible accomplices of the Accursed One.
Accursed One? I've never even heard of him.
Oh, forgive me for not believing that. Come with me right now, little venom dragon, or I'll be forced to call in reinforcements, and they're a lot less kind than me.
At my current tiny strength, I had no choice but to go with him. On day 2, the royal guard who'd captured me took me back to a base somewhere in the prairie. There was a small structure that seemed like a headquarters and a large walled courtyard protected by a secured door. What is this place? Is this where that Chief Evoker guy lives?
The Chief Evoker is in a different biome, trying to build alliances with other factions so we can ally against the Accursed One. We will keep you in our storage center until he returns.
I promise, I've never heard of the Accursed One. Can't you just take my word for it?
The Chief Evoker has a good sense for the content of people's souls. When he returns, he will judge your worthiness.
He didn't tell me anything after that. He just locked me inside the courtyard where I was trapped with a fungus thrower.
Hey, bub. Name's Bogey. What are you in for?
I'm Zozo, and honestly, I'm not even really sure why I'm here. I guess because I thought I had something to do with this guy they call the Accursed One. How about you?
I'm in here because I don't like authority. The Accursed One, the Chief Evoker, doesn't matter. I don't think anyone should tell anyone what to do for no good reason.
Can't say that I'm keen on them right now either. Before we do anything else, I need to get us out of this place.
I'm open to ideas, fella. I've been in here for 3 weeks. I think I'm starting to go insane.
Bogey's insanity aside, there was still hope here. I waited until nightfall, and then I put my plan into action. I have wings. Maybe, just maybe. I focused really hard until my wings started to carry me upwards. I flew up and out of the courtyard and then landed next to the door outside. I opened it and freed Bogey.
You're a real one, Zozo. I hope we meet again someday.
We both ran off in different directions, relieved that the royal guards hadn't noticed our daring escape. On day 3, I took flight and sailed through the sky above the prairie. Everything below me looked so tiny. It was breathtaking. I felt like I could do it forever. But I couldn't, as I suddenly realized that my hunger bar was looking uncomfortably low. I needed to get back on the ground and quickly get some food. I landed and started searching for fruit or some animals. That's when I happened upon an apple tree and gathered apples. I tasted them and they poisoned me. I guess a dragon only eats meat. Apples, me no likey. I decided to stay on the ground and rest my wings for a bit when I heard huge, thundering footsteps somewhere in the distance. It was way too loud to be one of the royal guards from earlier. Who could that be? I should check it out. I quickly ran over until I saw a massive figure strolling across the prairie. A giant, tough, redstone golem. Whoa, he's so big. I bet nobody messes with him.
You're right about that, kid.
Oh, you could hear me?
I can hear a lot. Just because I'm big and tough, people assume I can't be smart and perceptive too. But I'm the whole package. My name's Red. How about you?
I'm Zozo, and a lot of people have been giving me trouble lately. Can you teach me how to be big and tough like you?
Sure thing, Zozo. So long as you pay me back. Follow me. I'm sure I can teach you a thing or two.
From day 4 to day 5, the redstone golem led me to his home biome, the Red Desert.
Fun fact, it's named after me, Red. I'm just that cool, you know?
Whoa, you're awesome, Red! I'm so happy you're my friend. He led me back to his base and gave me a stone sword and a stone pickaxe.
Take these and go make your own place. Red's a lone wolf. Well, a lone golem. You get the idea. First step of learning to stand up for yourself is learning to fend for yourself. Make yourself a base, and then we'll talk about making you big and tough, like me.
Sure thing, Red. I took the stone sword and stone pickaxe and flew across the Red Desert, where I started gathering materials to build myself a cool base of my own. It was quite a sight to look at. A beautiful clock tower home I made. It felt good to have something I could call my own. I'm the Venom Dragon, and with help from Red, I'm gonna become the coolest creature in the overworld. I may have yelled that I was the Venom Dragon a little too loudly though, as a small group of royal guards appeared and came running towards me. Oh no, it's time to fight! I pulled out my stone sword and ran in to battle the royal guards. It wasn't easy, but my pure willpower saw me through. I defeated the Royal Guard detachment and gained enough XP in the process to level up. I got bigger, stronger, went up to 30 hearts, and gained a new power, Venom Breath. Oh man, Red is gonna think this is so cool. I can't wait to show him. From day 6 to day 8, I continued to test out my powers, blowing flames onto trees and cactuses to test their strength. Feels good to finally have some power. Some firepower! Is that even a joke? Oh gosh, who knows? But during my fire practice, I happened to run into an old friend, Bogey the Fungus Thrower. Hey Bogey, how's it hanging?
Been better, been worse. Say, have you had any luck finding that accursed one? I've been on the lookout. I need to find a new authority to rebel against while the Evoker is still out of town.
Does the accursed one count as an authority? I'm still not really sure what his whole deal is.
I've been asking around a lot lately. Turns out, he's been causing trouble around here for years. He's rolled through towns, and they've disappeared that same night. He rarely ever leaves survivors, so it's hard to know who he is and what he looks like.
Well, that's worrying. I think I know exactly who to ask about this. I flew over to my good buddy Red and told him everything that Bogey had told me. He immediately knew what I was talking about and had a great idea.
Yeah, I've heard about this accursed one. He's a tough customer. Pretty cool, apparently, but obviously evil, too. I've heard that his true power comes from a bunch of dangerous magic users. One of them is the Windcaller. He lives in the Red Oak Forest not far from here. You want my advice? Go take him out. The accursed one won't like that.
From day 9 to day 10, I flew straight to the Red Oak Forest, searching for the Windcaller, the first magic user who helped prop up the power of the Accursed One. If I can defeat him, it'll bring me one step closer to defeating the Accursed One himself. When I spotted the Windcaller, I immediately flew down towards him and landed a few feet away. He did not seem happy to see me, to say the least.
Get away from me, please! I don't want to fight. I don't want any trouble.
That excuse won't work on me, Windcaller. I know the truth about the Accursed One. You're going down!
The Accursed One? You think you know the truth? You arrogant little dragon! I'll show you how little you really know!
He fired an energy blast at me, and the fight was on! The Windcaller was a formidable opponent because of his magic use, but in the end, I was able to take him down thanks to a combination of Venom Breath and Sword Strikes. Sadly, I lost a lot of hearts in the process. Less sadly, Bogey appeared soon after and let me drink one of his healing potions to regenerate my lost health. Bogey, I can't thank you enough. Why are you here? Were you just following me around?
Nah, man. I just been told the Windcaller was the right man to speak to about finding the Accursed One. But I guess you beat me to him.
He attacked me first, and besides, Red told me to.
You shouldn't let other people tell you what to do and think, Zozo. At least not without questioning why first.
Come on, Bogey, it's fine. Red has my best interests at heart, I think. From day 11 to day 12, I returned back to Red at his awesome base to tell him that I'd defeated the Windcaller in the Red Oak Forest.
Good work, Zozo, good work. Bet you're feeling tougher already, right? Just like I told you, if you listen to your boy Red, everything will turn out all right.
It just felt a little weird, though. It didn't seem like he wanted to fight. Isn't that a little strange? Especially if he used to work for that Accursed One guy?
Don't be a dum-dum, Zozo. He just told you that to try to trick you. You can't trust everything that people say. People lie to get what they want literally all the time. Except me, of course. I'm old school.
Fair enough, Red. What do you want me to do next?
There are more magic users out there who want to help that big, probably handsome Accursed One jerk. In the end, you can destroy that Evoker. But first, you need to go back to the Red Oak Forest and take out the Geomancer. Upgrade your gear first, though. He's a tricky customer.
On Red's advice, I explored until I found a deep, dark cave, and followed it until I discovered a rich vein of iron ore. This is exactly what I needed. I mined enough iron ore to make the equipment I needed, then created an underground furnace to smelt it all. Soon enough, I had an iron pickaxe, iron sword, and iron helmet. Just in case of a flying accident, my head is protected. Remember to always wear a helmet when riding. But on the way out of the cave, I found another royal guard blocking my path.
I found you! The Evoker has returned to the base, and he requested an audience with you.
Oh, I'll see the Evoker soon enough, but I won't be going with you. With a powerful burst of Venom Breath, the royal guard was gone. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Red Oak Forest, flying through the trees and keeping my eyes peeled for the Geomancer that Red wanted me to find. It took until nightfall to find him, where I discovered him by the light of his campfire. He was just standing next to it, trying to stay warm. Rather than attacking him straight away, I hesitated, remembering that the wind caller didn't want to fight me, or at least said that he didn't. Maybe I should at least try to talk to him first. That's the least I could do. So I descended onto the ground and approached the geomancer. When he saw me, he didn't seem to be bothered.
Hello, stranger. It's getting cold. Why don't you come over and warm yourself?
I approached the fire and felt its warmth. The geomancer didn't seem aggressive at all. I had no idea why Red wanted me to destroy him. Mind if I ask you a personal question?
I don't see any harm in it.
Do you have anything to do with the thing they called the Accursed One? There was a long pause before the geomancer replied.
The Accursed One is one of my greatest mistakes. It was me, the Wind Caller, and the Evoker that created him. He was meant to be a weapon for good, but he developed a mind of his own. We have no control over him anymore. He's the monster we created.
Something about this whole conversation unsettled me. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I needed to talk to Red as soon as possible. I left the geomancer to his own devices and flew away. From day 16 to day 19, I flew back to the Red Desert and returned to Red's base. But to my surprise, he wasn't there. Instead, I found a note left by Red, simply reading, "I'm going to do what you should have done. Don't contact me again. We're done, Zozo." It was a devastating note to see. But before I could even properly process this, a familiar person came walking up behind me. It was Bogey. Bogey, what are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I'd come here to pick a fight with that Accursed One guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I asked around. Some big stone guy around here is that Accursed One you told me about. I figured I'd come down here and beat him up.
Big stone guy? That sounds like... Oh no, I need to get back to the Red Oak Forest. I took flight again and flew back to the camp at the Red Oak Forest as quickly as I could. But when I reached the camp, the fire was out, the geomancer was gone, and only Red remained. Red, are you?
The Accursed One? Duh! I'm amazed it took you this long to figure it out. I wasn't even that subtle about it.
The geomancer told me the truth.
Yeah. That's why I needed to destroy him and the Wind Caller. And after this, I'm gonna destroy the Evoker too. They made me, and once they're gone, no one will be able to unmake me.
That's where you're wrong. I'm going to unmake you right now. I ran in, ready to strike Red with all my might for the terrible things he'd done. And he punched me so hard, I was immediately knocked unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, my head still aching from that powerful strike that Red gave me. Ugh, even with that helmet, getting punched in the face by a literal stone fist, that's no fun. The dead campfire next to me only reminded me of the geomancer's horrible fate and the part I played in it. I didn't get to wallow in self-pity for long because Bogey the fungus thrower was emerging from the trees.
Get up, bub. We don't have any time to waste.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got to defeat that big rat guy, right? The Accursed One or whatever. You're not just gonna let him walk all over everyone, are you?
You still want to help me, even though I used to work with that monster?
Let's not focus on the past. We're not going there. Instead, let's go back to your place and work on a plan to take on and destroy that doofus before he can hurt anyone else.
You know what? I think you have a point. I went back to my base with Bogey and mined enough wood to build him an entire house for himself. He deserves it with all the help he gave me so far, and this way we can be neighbors and work with each other. I showed Bogey the house, and he loved it. I'm gonna make Red realize he messed with the wrong Venom Dragon! From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the prairie where I spawned in to do some exploring. I heard the telltale sound of a creeper nearby and flew into the air to get a better look at the terrain. From up above, I saw where the creeper was. It was heading for a witch who was completely oblivious to the hostile mob. Witch, watch out! There's a creeper behind you! I flew down and landed in front of the creeper, burning it with my venom breath. To my surprise, it didn't explode and struck back with a close-range attack. I fought ferociously until the creeper was vanquished. You've creeped for the last time. After that, the witch came back and cast a power-up spell on me.
Here, Venom Dragon. This should enhance your strength and increase your health.
And that it did! I gained 50 hearts and some mighty shooting claw attacks! But I won't use them without just claws. Like just cause? Get it? From day 27 to day 31, I found some sheep in the prairie and decided to pay them a greeting. Hello there, sheep. The sheep's wool looked very overgrown. Perhaps they had been wandering for a while without a trim. I invited them back to my base so that I could help them shed their extra wool. It was the biggest sheep barn I have ever built. Never have the sheep had so much space under the roof. I want to keep their wool nice and dry. When I had placed the last piece of the barn, Bogey the fungus thrower showed up. He had some news of his own about the state of the base.
Great work herding those sheep, Zozo. While you were doing that, I built us a storage building. You're welcome.
Super! I've always wanted a place to store things. Now all I need is some things to store.
Let's gather some resources then. We'll have to be well stocked if we want to take on Red.
You got that right, Bogey. Elsewhere in the Red Desert, our nemesis, Red the Accursed One, was gathering resources of his own.
Go forth, my Dark Knight Rider. The Evoker must be eliminated, along with that pesky Venom Dragon and anyone else who tries to step on my coolness.
You can count on me, Red. I won't rest until all the uncool fools are cut down by my axe.
From day 32 to day 35, I made my way back to the headquarters of the Chief Evoker in order to warn him about Red. The guards at the gate were quick to attack me, thinking that I was a potential threat to their boss. I defended myself with some normal attacks, but avoided using my shooting claw attacks so I could hold back and not hurt them too badly.
You've gotten stronger, Trespasser, but why are you not fighting us with all you've got?
Because you don't want to get hurt, and I don't want to hurt you. I bring news about the Accursed One, and I'm glad I made it here before the Red Golem did.
He knows the true identity of the Accursed One. We should let him through to speak with the Chief Evoker.
It seemed like my words had gotten through to the Royal Guards, so I followed them inside when they told me to enter the humble base to a room full of bookshelves. The Chief Evoker was standing right in front of me. He turned around and looked at my Venom Dragon form with much curiosity.
Your soul is conflicted. It holds the power of both great good and great evil within it. I'm not sure how to judge you just yet.
Forget about judging me. The Accursed One is coming to destroy you, so that nobody will know the secret of his creation.
I should have known it would come to this. Creating that golem was a mistake that cannot be fixed. The best I can do is hide out here and hope that the Accursed One doesn't find me.
You won't be able to hide forever. Not from that monster. He's too powerful.
The Accursed One may be strong, but he isn't unbeatable. If we can gather all three of those who made him.
You don't have that option anymore. You're the only one left.
Well, in that case, I'm going to stay put. You try to figure it out yourself.
Bogey was right. Trusting authority doesn't always work out. From day 36 to day 39, I went mining for the materials I would need to complete my iron armor. If the Chief Evoker is gonna hide from Destiny, I will face it with a full suit of armor. I didn't just unearth iron either. Once I found enough of the metal to build my armor pieces, I was able to find diamonds in the ground as well. Oh yeah, diamonds! These will come in handy later. I crafted the rest of the iron armor and equipped it. Now don't I look snazzy in this armor? Leave a like if you think so, and don't forget to subscribe. I went back above ground to my base in the Red Desert, where I met up with Bogey and told him what happened at the Evoker's base.
It looks like we're gonna have to take this matter into our own hands. We'll stop that accursed monster without the help of the Evoker.
Yes, that might be the only way to get it done. It's you and me, Bogey.
Here, Zozo, you can have my favorite machete. It'll help you the next time you're in a tough fight.
I equipped the machete and gave it a couple swings. It didn't deal any more damage than my sword, but it sure looked a lot cooler. Later on, I was patrolling the outside of the base when a camel came walking towards me across the sands.
You, Venom Dragon, come with me. Someone you know wants to speak with you.
Bogey says I don't have to follow orders, but maybe this time I should do what this camel says. From day 40 to day 43, I went to the location that the camel specified and found out that it was none other than the Chief Evoker waiting to meet with me. I thought you were hiding, Chief Evoker.
You thought right. I am hiding. Someone is coming after me. I need you to protect me.
Really? Your guards throw me in prison? You let your fellow mages die, and you won't do anything about the Accursed One, but now I need to help you?
Only if you want to. Your soul has the potential to protect or destroy.
Okay. Where is this enemy that is following you anyway?
It's coming. Prepare yourself.
I looked across the prairie and saw someone on a horse.
There you are, Chief Evoker. I'm going to chop you up for being so uncool.
Who are you, buddy?
I'm the Dark Knight Rider, and it looks like I've got another target right here in front of me.
Not now you don't, because we're running away! And we did. From day 44 to day 49, I had run all the way back to my base, only to find that the Chief Evoker had arrived there before me. So it's not just hiding, but running you're also good at.
I am not your enemy, Zozo. You don't need to get sassy with me.
If you say so, but don't expect I'm going to let you hide here at the base.
I'll return to my own base soon enough. But for now, I'm going to give you this.
The Chief Evoker handed me a mace, even though I already had a powerful weapon. He also showed me a book of secrets full of magic spells. What are these for?
My companions who helped forge the Accursed One, the Geomancer and Windcaller, might be gone now, but the magic we used to create the golem existed before us, and remains without them. I have written my part of it in my Book of Secrets, and if you can find the other two, we can enchant the mace with a breaking spell to unmake the Accursed One.
Now that's more like it. I'll take on this quest and gain the power to defeat Red. Where should I start?
Return to the Red Oak Forest. There you may seek the Windcaller's magical secrets.
And with that, I was on my way. From day 50 to day 53, I sought the magical secrets of the Windcaller deep in the Red Oak Forest. Here, secret, secret. Here, secret. Finding secrets was a way more difficult task than I had thought. But then again, I guess that's what made them secrets. In its current condition, the mace was not a powerful weapon, so I couldn't even use it to fight regular mobs. I was about to head back home when I ran into a mummy.
Did somebody say secret? As in the magical secrets of the Windcaller?
Yes, I did. But don't tell anyone. It has to be a secret.
I remember back when the Windcaller and those other two were first building their golem with the intention to protect us all. The Windcaller said that the golem would have the power to listen to the wind and know when others are in trouble.
That probably has something to do with finding the secret, but I can't figure it out right now. I walked away and traveled off through the woods. I'd be back to scout this area again on another day. From day 54 to day 57, I was taking a scenic walk through the prairie on the way back to my base when I encountered that Dark Knight Rider who was working for Red.
Time for me to ask you a question, Venom Dragon. And the answer is your demise!
Why are you even working for Red, Dark Knight Rider? Don't you know that he's a loner?
Simple, because I've got a score to settle with the Chief Evoker. But you won't need to hear about that. I'll just chop you to pieces!
The Dark Knight Rider ran towards me, and I used my Venom Breath on him. It barely did any damage, and he just kept charging forward. I'd better get out of here. I flew away, escaping through the sky where the Dark Knight Rider couldn't reach me. While his handyman was tracking me, Red was brooding all alone in his base.
I can hear him now, those voices on the wind. Yes, that's a sure sign that my enemies are in trouble. It's cool to know that people I don't like are failing.
From day 58 to day 62, I came in for a graceful landing in the middle of my base, where Bogey was quick to welcome me back home.
Our base has become much more self-sufficient thanks to my efforts. Come check this out.
I looked around inside to see Bogey had installed a furnace for regulating temperature throughout the base. This is excellent, Bogey. Who doesn't need a furnace in the desert for when it gets cold?
I also started work on building a defensive bunker in case things really get dangerous out there. Can you gather some materials to help complete it?
Of course! The mines were full of the materials I would need to reinforce the bunker, so I went down below to gather them. I went further than the usual mines and arrived at the deep mining cave. There was iron and stone, and of course, diamonds! Never can have too many of these. I should upgrade my gear with these shiny diamonds while I'm here. I mined the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond sword, diamond pickaxe, and diamond helmet. While I didn't have enough diamonds for a full suit of armor, I was armed with a strong weapon now in the form of my diamond sword. I returned to Bogey the Fungus Thrower and gave him all the materials I gathered so he could finish the defensive bunker within the base. From day 63 to day 66, I found the Evoker had come to visit my base again with further knowledge on how I could complete the mace and the unmaking spell.
I have found the secret location of the magical secrets that the Geomancer had once brought to the table in the creation of the Accursed One.
That's great news! I wasn't able to find the Windcaller's magic secrets, but at least we can use the Geomancer's secrets.
They are in a new biome that you've never seen before. Allow me to guide you to that place.
The Chief Evoker led me down to the lush caves, a forest beneath the surface of the overworld, which had unique plants seen nowhere else in the world. This looks like the work of geomancy, no doubt about it. We soon came upon a huge door that was sealed with geomancy magic.
The magical secrets are behind here.
That's good to know, but it looks like the door itself can't be opened.
It's true. The Geomancer was so ashamed of playing a role in the making of the Accursed One that he sealed his secrets behind this door.
I guess we'll need to backtrack here once we've learned the way to get through this door. From day 67 to day 70, the Chief Evoker once again asked me for help with another matter.
It is urgent. There is a bad soul running loose around the prairie. You have to stop it.
I guess I've got to do what you say. I arrived at the prairie and saw exactly what the Chief Evoker was talking about. An evil wraith was going absolutely crazy and tearing the place apart. I drew my machete and moved towards the wraith, cautiously. It fired a lightning bolt to me, which I dodged. I returned the favor with my venom breath.
I have achieved true power. I don't need anyone anymore. I am strong all by myself.
Just because you're cool by yourself doesn't mean you should go destroying things.
I bet somebody else made you believe that so you wouldn't destroy him. Life is better when you're on your own.
And you're only saying that because you aren't listening to others. If you listen to me, I promise you'll be stronger with someone to help you. The Wraith thought about it for a moment.
You have convinced me to accept help from others. If it really does power me up.
I solved the problem without fighting. I guess not every bad soul is beyond convincing. From day 71 to day 74, the Dark Knight Rider showed up and started breaking down my base with his deadly horse.
Not so cool after I pillage your base. Then again, you were never cool.
You're the one who's about to find out what cool is after I slice you. I drew my machete and we battled each other, weapon to weapon. The fight was even for a while, but then the Dark Knight Rider disarmed me of my machete and stole it for himself.
It'd be hard to slice me without this. See you later, you uncool fool.
Wait, this isn't over! The Dark Knight Rider didn't wait, and just like that, he was gone. I may have survived with my life, but I lost Bogey's favorite machete, and that made me extremely sad. I ran into my room and cried about it for a long time, wishing I had only hung on to the machete a little bit tighter. After a few hours of crying, Bogey showed up in my room. I was almost too sad to talk to him. I'm sorry, Bogey. I can't believe I lost your favorite machete.
Zozo, it's only a machete. At least you're still okay. You're my best friend.
You're right. Thanks, Bogey.
Clown play. I've already fixed the base up from the Dark Knight Rider attack.
I spent some time with Bogey, not knowing that Red was once again plotting something all by his lonesome.
Try to unmake me, will they? I'll unmake them when I get my hands on the fully completed Mace of Magic.
From day 75 to day 78, the Chief Evoker was back at my base once again. You show up here a whole lot, don't you?
It's because you're so useful, Zozo. Now have all these javelins.
Okay, I'll have all those javelins. I took the javelins that the Chief Evoker was giving me and asked him if there was any other reason why he was here.
There is. I thought you could help me deal with the Dark Knight Rider that has been plaguing us. That is because he tried my magic secrets, but I said no, and kept him from learning.
Why didn't you let him learn your magic?
Who knows? But secrets are meaningless unless you keep them.
That sounded kinda cool, but not in a nice way. Either way, I took my javelins and went to track down the Dark Knight Rider. From day 79 to day 84, I explored the Red Desert until I found Red's base. There, I saw the Dark Knight Rider, obviously about to report to his boss, the Accursed One. Eat javelins, you thief! I flew around the Dark Knight Rider and hurled the javelins one after another. He was barely damaged at all. The javelins were ineffective, so I switched to my shooting claw attacks.
Why would I eat those? Javelins and claws aren't food, but you're going to be minced meat once I'm done with you!
The Dark Knight Rider attacked me with his horse, which even with my diamond armor, still did a lot of damage.
See? I don't need magic to be a cool guy. All I need is a horse and style, and I can do whatever I want with my life.
You need more than that, Dark Knight Rider. Life isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about doing what must be done. That's what real coolness is all about. Inspired by my own words, I embraced the power of coolness and leveled up into a big-sized Supreme Venom Dragon with 100 hearts. How do you like me now? Probably not a lot, because I'm gonna destroy you with my coolness.
Oh, no! He's so cool now!
I sure am, but enough about me. Here's something that isn't cool, my 1,000,000-degree Dragon Fireball! I used my new special attack to defeat the Dark Knight Rider! The Dragon Fireball scorched him and his horse, leaving behind no trace he was even there, beyond my machete and a special key marked with Geomancy magic. I have a feeling I know where this goes. From day 85 to day 89, I saw that Bogey the Fungus Thrower had almost completed the defensive bunker that I had gathered all those materials for.
All it needs is a strong door to keep out the authorities.
I can handle that. Leave it to me, Bogey. With a few more pieces of iron and glass, I crafted a set of metal warning doors and sealed the chamber by placing down the doors. The defensive bunker was complete. I'll be heading to the Lush Caves. Stay inside the bunker where it's safe. I brought the special key I got from the Dark Knight Rider to the caves and used the item to unlock the Geomancer's door. Finally, I can enchant the mace with the magic secrets of the Geomancer. On the other side of the door was a giant tarantula that spit poison at me. I struck back with a dragon fireball. The tarantula was too tough to go down in one hit, but the second and third fireballs hit their mark and flame broiled the spidery mob. Now for those delicious secrets. The Geomancer had written the secrets on the wall, and as I read them, the mace became infused with power. Could this be the unmaking spell I need to defeat Red? I certainly hope it is. From day 90 to day 94, I exited the Geomancer's secret cave with the mace in my hand and found that Red was standing there in the Lush Caves, menacingly.
What are you gonna do with that, Zozo? Are you gonna try and unmake me now, punk? Are ya?
It seems like the thing I must do, right?
Wrong! You could be free and cool like me if you put down the mace and stood by my side. I can still show you how to be awesome.
I'm not listening to you. It's unmaking time. I hit him with the mace, but the charged up magic didn't accomplish much of anything. Was the spell still incomplete? He hit me with a big punch that knocked away almost half of my health. That knocked me so hard, I dropped my mace, which he grabbed and hit me again. Before I could do anything back, I was frozen by some magic. Oh no, I can't escape.
You actually believed what Chief Evoker said? He doesn't know how to destroy me, and soon nobody will be able to. Goodbye, Zozo.
Red left, and I was still frozen by the scared still effect. I have to find a way out of here. From day 95 to day 97, I waited just long enough for the effect to wear down and go away. Now that I was released, I traveled through the Lush Caves. I knew that I had to talk to the Chief Evoker to find out the real way to unmake Red. When I arrived at the Evoker's base in the prairie, I found that all the royal guards were dead, and the Evoker himself wasn't far from it.
Zozo, where were you? The accursed one rampaged through here and took out everyone, including me.
I tried my hardest, Evoker, but I was trapped, and Red, the accursed one, was too strong for the unmaking spell.
I guess there really is no way to undo a mistake. I was the most uncool fool of all.
As he faded away, I was reminded of something I had known for a long time. I'd need to take this matter into my own hands. Red was going down. On day 98, I found my base in the Red Desert had been reduced to ruins. The sheep had all wandered far away. This was probably the work of Red, since I knew his base wasn't far from mine. I guess this desert really does belong to him now. He's made it clear that nobody else is welcome here.
Since when do we have to listen to what the accursed one says?
It was Bogey the Fungus Thrower. He had survived the attack by hiding inside the defensive bunker. Bogey, you're alive!
I'm more alive than ever. We'll protect the overworld now, just you and me. I've got an idea to deal with Red.
Let's hear it. You've always come through for me, just like your favorite machete.
If we can take the mace from Red, we might not be able to unmake him, but we can reprogram him to be what he was always meant to be, a protector.
I like that plan. On day 99, I went to Red's base and flew in circles, shooting dragon fireballs at it until he came out to face me. After a while, Red finally appeared.
Give it a rest. You lost. I'm too cool to care about anybody now.
That's what you think. I'm pretty cool too, and I bet you can't beat me without the mace.
You mean this mace? I don't need it.
He threw the mace onto the ground, and we began to fight each other. I avoided his punches and hit him with my shooting claw attacks, then my machete. Red hit me with a strong attack, and I needed to get some distance on him. I blasted him with dragon fireballs. He ran towards me and tried to punch me again, but I flew into the air to avoid them. The damage from the fight was difficult to withstand, but I bought enough time for Bogey the Fungus Thrower to sneak up and steal the mace off the ground.
Zozo, I got it! Let's get out of here!
Great work, Bogey! I shot another dragon fireball at Red to distract him, and then retreated back to the base with Bogey. Once we were there, we used all the magical secrets to change the unmaking spell into a make better spell. You stay here, Bogey. I'm gonna use this spell on Red, the accursed one, and make him Red, the reversed one. Or the nice one. On day 100, I flew back to Red's base and went inside. Red, the accursed one, was there waiting for me, but I was ready to face him.
All this time you've had to learn how to be cool, but you really just learned how to keep being a fool.
Actually, I've learned the best lesson of all. People who are really cool don't have to say it all the time. And they don't just do whatever they want, they do what they must.
No more speeches! I will unmake you like you tried to unmake me!
I was wrong, Red. I won't unmake you anymore. I'll make you better. We battled in melee combat for some time. I used the machete to chip away at his defenses until I could use the Make Better spell from the mace. The spell worked its secret magic, and soon Red was starting to seem a whole lot less mean. He grew in size and changed his color to a friendly green, becoming a golem with a kind streak as big as his arm span.
Wow, I don't want to be a loner anymore. I want to protect other people.
And everything was better! Now, thanks to my Make Better spell, Red, or should I say Green, would be the world's protector, and I would have a chance to relax until I was needed again. On day 1, I spawned in as Distorted Alex. Only 4 hearts? I should stay out of trouble with health like that, especially since I'm Distorted Alex, creepypasta legend, and enemy to players and villagers everywhere. Luckily, I had the power to turn invisible. Now you see me, now you don't. Time to scare some villagers. But hey, where is everyone? I started sneaking around the village, but it looks like all the villagers are gone, except for one. Hello? Wait a second, that's not a villager, that's an illager, and it looks like it wants to get me. I turned invisible and ran inside a nearby house. I turned around and saw that I wasn't alone in there though. There was a hungry wolf with me. He must be able to smell me, even though I'm invisible. I tried to escape, but the wolf kept following me. I ran out of the house and looked for another one to hide in. I found one, but there wasn't a door. Luckily, there was a chest at the top, and I managed to block the entrance with a wooden block. I'm gonna stay inside this house until morning so the illager and the dog won't find me. Maybe I'll be able to find out what happened to the other villagers tomorrow, since what good is it being Distorted Alex if I can't sneak up on people? On day 2, I opened a treasure chest inside the house and found some cobblestone and wood, which I used to make a shovel and an axe. I was ready to use the axe on the wolf, but after I had removed the wood blocking the entrance, I could see that the wolf was gone. It looked like there was also a basement level to this house, so I went down. Oh no, is that another wolf? Luckily, it wasn't a wolf this time, it was a friendly dog.
You're not my master.
No, I'm not. But what happened to your village? It doesn't look like anyone is here anymore.
Those illagers took all the villagers away a few days ago. They had wolves with them too, and I had to hide down here to get away from them.
Where did they take them?
Over the hills, to the north of here. You look scary, but would you be willing to help me? Please? Please rescue my master.
I know that I was supposed to be Distorted Alex, but how can you say no to a puppy dog? Looks like they needed a hero, even one that looks like a creepy version of Alex. Okay, I'll do my best. I looked around the basement and found an iron sword hanging on the wall. Finally, a weapon! Just then, I noticed I was feeling pretty hungry. I took a look inside the sacks and barrels, but they were all empty. The dog sniffed around and pointed to a barrel. I took a look inside and found some baked potatoes, among a bunch of other food. I could tell the dog was hungry too, so I tossed some food out to him.
Ugh, I don't eat this. I need some bones or meat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't worry, we'll find something for you soon. On day 3, I decided to dig a cave beneath the basement to see if I can find any more materials down there. But to do that, I needed to craft a pickaxe. I put out the fire, then got to work crafting a pickaxe. I'll even give one to the dog so he can help me mine. We dug a little too far though and got attacked by a lurker. Get to safety, dog, I'll handle this. I turned invisible and snuck up on the lurker, using my sword to bring it down. Looks like defeating that mob brought me up to 6 hearts. Awesome! This cave isn't actually all that dangerous. I think I'll make it my underground base. On days 4 to 5, I went outside and noticed that after my level up, I can also warp short distances. Awesome! I started gathering wood from the surrounding trees. I used my warp a few times to get up the tree and reach all the logs, and even to cross a river and a ravine. I started heading back, but oh no, it's that illager again. He must be patrolling the area around the village. I warped out of sight and turned invisible so I could listen to him talking without being detected.
Thought I saw another pathetic villager to capture and bring to the Redstone Mines, but I guess not.
So it is true, the illagers were the ones who took everyone away. I guess it figures that all of them didn't just leave on their own. But now how am I supposed to live up to my legend? I'm supposed to be the one who makes all the villagers run away from the village. They're supposed to be scared of me, not these lamos. I couldn't let them take any more people. He was no match for me now that I was stronger. I was able to hit him hard and take him out quickly. On days 6 to 8, I first improved my base in the cave. After that, I mined so much stone from the underground that I could craft a suit of stone armor to protect me. But first, I needed to craft the cobblestone into cobblestone nuggets, which I smelt into cobblestone ingots, and then crafted those into the armor. I dug down even deeper into the mine and took on some cave spiders. Take that! You spiders think you can be scarier than me? I'm Distorted Alex, the best creepypasta around. My armor and sword were both really great, but when 3 cave spiders with poison take you down to half a heart, it's no fun. I looked around but could only find coal, so I grabbed some. This place is scary though, and I swear I hear some creepy sounds. I'm going invisible. Oh, right, when I'm invisible, I need to take my armor off. Now let's get out of here, don't want to risk getting hurt. On days 9 to 10, I went to the nearby hills in order to search for those redstone mines that I had heard the Illager talking about. All the real villagers, including the dog's human, were probably there right now, and they needed my help. Of course, they don't know that I'm creepypasta yet, but we'll cross that scary bridge over a scary river when we get to it. For now, it was time to find out what I was up against. I showed up to an area where a lot of redstone was being hauled out of a cave in a minecart. This must be the place. There's also this huge green guy with a giant sword.
All the redstone will belong to me, the great Crushmore.
He was no joke. I better not mess with him. Good thing I could sneak inside the mine with my invisibility. Maybe I'll be able to scare Crushmore later, once I level up more. Just as I suspected, a bunch of villagers were being forced to mine redstone non-stop. I like redstone as much as the next player, but there are limits, man. Haven't you ever heard of the phrase, mind your own business? Whoa, Crushmore even captured a shopkeeper. I decided to reveal myself to the shopkeeper. Hello, Mr. Shopkeeper. My name is Zozo, and I'm looking for the owner of a nice dog.
My dog is okay? Thank goodness.
He's waiting for you back at the village. Come with me, I can sneak us out of here.
I'll only go if you agree to help the rest of the villagers. Crushmore is making us mine every day without any breaks. He needs to be stopped.
Deal. What else could I say? We started to sneak out of the cave, but he spotted us. Let's get out of here. On days 11 to 12, I fixed up the house so that the shopkeeper could move back in with his dog. He gave me some health potions and agreed to let me keep expanding the basement as long as I defeated any mobs that came in. I found a troll in the mine, and my iron sword couldn't do anything to it. It just kept healing. I had to drink one of my health potions. What are trolls weak against anyway? Maybe I need something that damages quicker than it can heal. Fire could do the job. I gathered more wood and crafted some torches. Then I noticed I had no armor equipped. The next time I see the troll, I'll be able to light it up. Ha! Sick burn. And I'll make sure to wear some armor this time too. I went back to the troll and used the torch to light him on fire. Looks like fire attacks are super effective. I should stock up on flint and steel as well. That way I can use fire whenever I need to. Distorted Alex can burn down buildings, right? I guess I might as well embrace it. I started to find iron and other metals in the mine, so soon I'd be able to craft steel and upgrade my armor. I crafted an iron chestplate, iron boots, iron shovel, and iron pickaxe, and had to go grab one last piece of iron for the flint and steel. It'd be nice to get a new weapon, too. On days 13 to 15, I was at the base when the shopkeeper decided to tell me what happened when the villagers were taken away.
We were always worried about Crushmore. For a long time, he made us give him all the redstone we had, or else. Some of our people didn't want to give up their own redstone, so they became outcasts from us. Those were the Illagers. We never could have imagined that they'd team up with Crushmore and bully us into doing their dirty work. Now everyone is trapped in those redstone mines, and the village will be empty until somebody does something about it.
How terrible! Won't you do something, Zozo?
I thought about it, and then I gave my answer. The truth is, I'm an outcast myself. I'm not saying what the Illagers did was right, but I totally understand not wanting to give away their materials. You're all scared of Crushmore, and so am I. Sorry, but there's nothing I can do. It felt really weird to admit that I was scared, but I had never seen a boss as strong as Crushmore. He was probably close to 100 times as scary as me, and I was supposed to be the creepypasta character around here. That doesn't seem right. The shopkeeper and his dog were saddened by this, but what I had said was the truth. On days 16 to 19, I left the empty village and left my base behind to go find the materials to make a better weapon in the mountains. Crushmore would come looking for the shopkeeper and his dog eventually, and with all the Illagers he already had on his side, he'd be totally unstoppable. I saw some light at the top of the mountain. That's the way! I climbed up the snowy mountain slopes, but at some point it got too steep. It looked like my only option was to swim up a small waterfall. Oh man, this is freezing. I soon made it to the top, but there were more trolls here. It was time to put that flint and steel to good use. I made several fires, which scared them off. Then I found an ice cave, but it was guarded by more trolls. No worries, I got this. I set part of the cave on fire, and the trolls fled. At the back of the cave, on a stone pedestal, I found a frosted sword with sharpness 3. It was made of enchanted ice that was 10 times as strong as normal. I started to think about the way I had left things with the shopkeeper and his dog, and realized that I had been a little rude. I mean, just because Distorted Alex doesn't usually help people in need doesn't mean I should ever do it. Sometimes you gotta be the hero, even if it goes against what you had planned. That's just the right thing to do. Besides, I already promised I would help save the other villagers from the redstone mine, and a promise is a promise. I began to make my way back down the mountain when I saw a llama struggling near the edge of the cliff.
Help me, please! I'm gonna fall!
I ran over and offered the llama a hand. No way am I going to let an innocent creature get hurt. It was almost too late, and she started to fall, but I warped again and caught the llama in midair, then I warped back onto solid ground. Whoa, I had never warped that many times in a row before. Then I noticed that my powers of warping and distorting myself were causing me to grow. I was bigger now, and I also had 10 hearts. I'm getting scarier every day. I can't wait to see what I look like at even higher levels.
Thank you for saving me, new friend. My name is Becca.
What were you doing out here, Becca?
I heard that the villagers in this area were being oppressed by an evil brute named Crushmore, so I'm searching for a powerful golem that might be able to defeat him.
Why would a llama be so concerned about human villagers?
Hey, just because we're different doesn't mean I have to stay out of it. I want to help everyone.
Hard to argue with that logic. Now that I had thought about it, I realized my reason for why I've been helping out is kind of the same as her. I guess Becca isn't too different from me. Well, other than me being a creepypasta and her being a talking llama, but otherwise, we're basically the same.
Legend has it that the golem is hidden somewhere near these mountains, waiting for a hero with pure intentions to awaken it.
I don't know if I'm that hero yet, but this golem does sound really promising. On days 20 to 22, I returned to the village to find that 3 illagers had been trying to break into the shopkeeper's house. It's a good thing I built that door. They all had crossbows, but fortunately my warp ability could take me right into close range. After that, I made short work of them with my ice-frosted sword. I think I'll build a giant statue right in the middle of the village, but for that, I need to get some sheep. That way, the villagers will have something cool to look at once they're all rescued. I also added a base extension to the shopkeeper's house. I needed to give the villagers a reason to stay in the village long enough so that I can really give them all a good scare later on. I started gathering materials, breaking through a wall in the basement mine to find a huge cavern full of dazzling emeralds. Wow, these will look great on the statue, and I bet there's a lot of other great materials in here too. Next, I got some more iron to make some shears for the wool. What kind of statue do you think I'm building? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my awesome adventures. Or just search for Zozo. Spell it with me, Z-O-Z-O. On days 23 to 26, I defended the base from more of the illagers sent by Crushmore. Boy, you guys are persistent. My warping power was so much stronger now that I could warp any weak mob I touched high up into the air and watch them fall to their defeat. I dropped them all, and one of them dropped a bow and some fire arrows, along with 2 diamonds. As if I wasn't enough of a menace to trolls already. I tried using the bow, but it didn't work. But that's what I can use the diamonds for. I need to get flame on my bow first, so I'll need to enchant it. I went to the ocean and mined some lapis lazuli stones for the enchantment process. All that was left was to gather the materials for fire enchanting. I also met a new friend while I was out near the ocean.
How you doing? I'm Tuttle, the turtle.
I told the turtle I needed to make an enchantment table, and the turtle gave me 4 obsidian for it. You're such a cool dude. Why don't you come with me and live at my base? I returned to the base and enchanted the bow with a flaming enchanted book. Then I named the bow Firestarter. Now I can use those arrows with the fire enchantment. Hopefully I don't run out, otherwise I'll need to craft more and get some fire charges. I created a pond back at the base so that Tuttle could live there. Turtles love the water after all.
We also love powerful defenses, Zozo. Make sure your base has got walls on every side and locks on the gates.
Thanks, Tuttle, but I'm the one who is supposed to do the narration. On days 27 to 31, I decided that I wanted to explore near the ice cave again. I was out gathering materials in the mountains when I ran into Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Zozo. I think I found the entrance to a dungeon where the legendary golem can be found. It'll be treacherous, but we should definitely go there.
I followed Becca across a slippery mountain path until we came to a giant stone bridge over a valley. On the other side of the bridge was a huge silver door. Now I've heard of knowing how to make an entrance, but this is ridiculous. What was even more ridiculous was that it was guarded by a rock. Becca was too afraid to get close to that thing, so I bravely approached the rock instead. Hey, wait a minute. How come I'm the one who has to make my friends less afraid all of a sudden? This totally wasn't what I signed up for. Oh well, maybe I can settle for scaring this bird away. Though I still don't want to be that rude about it. Maybe I'll just ask nicely? Can we go through that door, please?
Absolutely not. I've been ordered to guard this door by Crushmore himself.
The rock swooped down on me, but I was able to warp out of the way and turn invisible.
Where are you hiding?
Right here. After some fast moves and quick thinking, I managed to win the fight.
No fair. I'll remember this.
Becca and I then did everything we could to open the silver door, but nothing seemed to do the trick. We tried using a lever, torches, setting it on fire, and shooting flaming arrows. Nothing worked. We'd have to figure something else out later. On days 32 to 35, Becca and I found a small cabin nearby where we could stay, and it turned out that a few villagers who had escaped from Crushmore were living here now.
That bird must have been here to make sure nobody could go into the dungeon.
And we still don't have a way to open the door. Just then, the walls of the cabin came crashing down. Or should I say, crushing down? No? Crushmore was here, and he seemed mad.
Get back to the mines and find me more redstone.
The villagers were scared, so I decided that I'd lure Crushmore away. Hey you, follow me! I ran as far and as fast as I could across the mountain, keeping ahead of Crushmore as best as I could. Then I saw it, a blizzard. That's the perfect place to lose him. I turned invisible and vanished into the snow, making my way back to the escaped villagers. Chill out, everyone. No pun intended. Come back to my base, and you can have your old homes back. On days 36 to 39, I made sure that all the villagers that had returned with me got bigger houses with crafting tables and anvils. Now there would be enough weapons and armor for all of them. Now if the villagers came back for them, they wouldn't go without a fight. I showed the villagers their houses, and they moved in. They seemed really grateful. I asked Tuttle if he knew anything about how we could open the silver door in the mountains.
Oh, so just because I'm a turtle, that means I know everything? Well, I do know this. That silver door is only going to open for a silver key, and the only place you can find one is in the Sea King's palace.
That's actually really helpful. Thanks, Tuttle.
Don't mention it, Zozo.
I decided to do some more work on the statue before I left the base again. What do you think of it so far? On days 40 to 43, one of the villagers noticed that I was using a bow with fire enchantments and told me of a chest deep in the woods where an enchanted book of fire aspect had been placed. The chest was guarded by a fearsome fire salamander that would burn anyone who approached, but I had to take the risk. My fire arrows were some of the best weapons I had, and I wanted to improve them even more. As I wandered through the woods, I found the salamander. I was worried if I used my frosted sword it would melt, so I switched back to my trusty old iron sword. I circled around it, using my warp abilities to jump away from its blasts of fire. It was a rough fight. I had to drink a health potion and warp away to safety many times. I also shot some arrows, but they didn't seem very effective. I warped and slashed until finally the salamander was defeated. I decided I'd upgrade my iron sword to a steel one and give it the new and improved fire enchantment. Behold, my flaming steel sword. On days 44 to 49, I crafted a wooden boat and set off for an ocean voyage. Tuttle had mentioned that the Sea King's palace would have the silver key I would need to open the silver door, so I kept a close eye on the horizon in search of the palace. The giant squid attacked me out of nowhere, but fortunately, I was able to snipe it from a distance with my fire arrows. Fried calamari, anyone? Then I heard a voice among the waves.
I can't swim! Save me!
I went towards the voice and found a man with a crown who was thrashing in the water. I pulled him onto the boat so that he wouldn't be in trouble anymore.
Thank you. I will reward you greatly for saving my life. I am Sea King after all.
How come you're the Sea King, but you can't swim?
That's not important. What is important is that a giant bird has taken over my palace and threw me into the ocean.
A giant bird? Could it be? On days 50 to 53, I sailed onward until I found the Sea King's palace. Or I guess right now it's the giant bird's palace. I left the boat at the dock and made my way inside the beautiful Lapis Lazuli palace. The Sea King chose to remain at the shore for his own safety. I went into the throne room and saw the bird perched on the throne. You're the bird who is guarding the door.
And you're that invisible snake who thought you defeated me. This time, I will show you no mercy.
I'm not just any sneak. I'm Distorted Alex. Bring it on, bird brain. I drew my fire sword and warped into battle. The rock was still as tough as ever, but it wasn't prepared to face my new enchantments. After I defeated the bird, I took a look around the palace and soon found the silver key. It was being guarded by 2 warriors in lapis lazuli armor. Hi, I'm Zozo. I just defeated the evil bird. Can I have your silver key? The warrior shrugged. I guess it's okay then. I left the palace only to find that the Sea King was gone, along with my boat. On days 54 to 57, I made my way home on foot. On the way, I took out some chickens and grabbed the feathers to craft some arrows. And luckily, I found a bunch of iron as well. I mined it right up. I returned to my base at the village and used some of the feathers and fire charges to make some flaming arrows. I also crafted an enchanted suit of steel armor. Now I had defenses for days.
Looking cool, Zozo.
Thanks, Tuttle.
Hey, Zozo! I'm planning on opening my shop back up, but I need a few more rare goods from the forest before I can do that.
No problem, shopkeeper. I'll go get some rare materials for you in the surrounding area.
You're the best! I'll be especially happy if you can find me the ingredients for shrimp fried rice.
I first went into the forest to see if I could find some materials there, and I stumbled upon a pixie hovel. There were a ton of pixies, and they were a feisty little bunch. They flew at me and gave me some debuffs like bad luck and slowness. But what really annoyed me was that they were laughing at me. Rude. Then they started stealing my items. That's it. Enough is enough. I grabbed 2 empty jars that were lying on the ground and caught a couple of pixies in them. Ha! Who's laughing now? I then grabbed all the pixie dust laying around and decided I might as well take their homes. Hehehe. I continued on and spotted a loose Nagafang just laying on the ground. Oh, this could come in handy too. On the way to the ocean, I also grabbed some wild rice growing by the water. It was a good thing that all my time exploring the ocean let me know where to find some shrimp, so I gathered those too. I returned to the shopkeeper and gave him some of the wild rice and shrimp. He looked happier than I've ever seen him before. He took all of the ingredients and started to cook up the shrimp fried rice right in front of me. It looked like it turned out great. It must have tasted really good too, since the shopkeeper was so happy that he went inside his shop and came out with a diamond pickaxe. Is this for me? Thanks! On days 58 to 62, I was making solid progress on the base's statue when I heard the villagers start to panic. The walls of the base were being destroyed by a group of giant octopuses. It seems strange since aquatic mobs like that usually don't show up this far inland. They must have some kind of magic protecting them. Who could be behind this? I fought off the giant squids only to see the Sea King standing outside the base, holding an enchanted silver spear. Sea King, are you here to help?
No, Zozo. You stole my silver key, so I'm going to destroy you and your base.
You don't understand. I need the silver key to open the dungeon door. I'll give it back after, I promise.
Save your promises. This is war. You may have defeated those squids, but I'll be back with more and we'll end you.
He ran away, and I didn't want to run after him. Even if I'm doing the right thing, I'm still an outcast, and now I was at war with one of the people I wanted to help. This was messed up. Unfortunately, while I was talking with the king, some other octopuses that I must have missed set fire to the village, damaging it. Ah, come on, guys. On days 63 to 66, I sailed back to the Sea King's palace in the hopes that I could speak with him and get him to agree to a truce. I didn't want any more sea creatures showing up and damaging things. I walked into the throne room, passing a bunch of scary guards. I didn't have any of my weapons equipped to show that I didn't mean him any harm. The Sea King was sitting on his throne, waiting for me.
Have you come to beg for my forgiveness?
Yes and no. I don't want to have a war, but I'm also asking to let me use the silver key just once. If we don't get to the golem, we'll never be able to defeat Crushmore and save the rest of the villagers.
Don't you see that it's pointless? I tried the key on that door long ago, and it never opened for me.
You did?
The legend says that a hero must find the golem. If I'm not worthy, nobody is.
What if I'm worthy?
Enough talk. Let's settle this one-on-one.
The Sea King attacked me with a spear. I had no choice but to fight back and battle the Sea King. As we fought, the guards started jumping in excitement. They must love watching a good fight. It happened so fast, but in the end, he was defeated. I guess there wouldn't be a war, but this wasn't how I wanted it to end. On days 67 to 70, I journeyed back to the Silver Door with the silver key in my inventory. I figured it was now or never if I was going to prove my worthiness and enter the dungeon. As I walked across the bridge, I heard a terrifying roar from underneath the bridge. It was a Remobra. The wyvern flew down in front of me and blocked my path.
I am Poison Wing. You will never survive my poison.
He wanted to prove that to me straight away and spat a glob of poison at me. It was too fast for me to warp out of the way. My speed was slowed and my health started to drop. I fired arrows at Poison Wing, but he kept flying around the bridge and avoiding them. At this rate, it seemed like he was just biding his time so the poison would get me. If I tried warping into melee range, I'd just end up falling and having to warp back to the bridge. Time was running out. The poison almost had me.
Zozo, quick, drink this.
It was Becca, and she had brought antidotes to help me overcome the poison.
Meddling llama.
Poison Wing bellowed, and because he was enraged, he swooped in to attack us. I stepped in front of Becca and slashed at him with my fire sword. Poison Wing was trying to get to my friend, but I would never let him through. After taking several hits, Poison Wing flew off. He was wounded, but not fatally.
Poison Wing will be back, and will bring others with him. Quickly, Zozo, we have to get inside that door.
We ran over to the door and placed the key in the lock. To my surprise, it worked, and we were able to enter the dungeon. On days 71 to 74, we traveled through the depths of the dungeon. We encountered a horde of trolls, but thanks to my enchantments, they weren't much of a threat. Take that, and this! Then we came to the place where the golem was supposed to have rested. But there was nothing there.
I don't understand. Why isn't there a golem?
I don't know, but Poison Wing will be back soon. We have to leave. On days 75 to 78, I repaired the parts of the base and the village that had been damaged in the war with the Sea King. I made sure everyone's home was 5 stories tall and had wooden bridges on the roof so the villagers could visit each other. Tuttle then came over and gave me some new, stronger materials that only the oldest turtles knew about, and I was able to create my ultimate suit of armor. Then she gave me a potion. I guess they are friends with Becca, and the turtle figured I might need another potion. Just in time, too, because Poison Wing flew into the base from up above.
Crushmore has grown tired of waiting, Zozo. Give back those villagers, or I will poison them all.
He shot his poison at me, but this time I was ready. I immediately drank one of Becca's antidotes and was ready to take the fight to the Remobra himself. I warped above him, but that was a fake out. When Poison Wing dodged, I warped again, right into his path. I hit him with a powerful attack and finished him off. Wow, I've got 16 hearts, and it looks like I can warp really far now. Now that I've beaten Poison Wing, maybe I can go back to the mountain dungeon and see if I missed anything. On day 79 to 84, I searched behind the silver door again and couldn't find anything in the entire dungeon that could tell me where the golem went. So much for that. I was about to leave when I ran into a man who looked a lot like the Sea King, but older. He seemed sad, but at least it didn't look like he wanted to fight. I asked him who he was, and he told me he was the Sea King's father. "Whoa, I'm sorry about what happened to your son." I took off my helmet so we could talk face to face. He told me he had made this mountain dungeon when his son was little in order to test whether or not he could be a hero worthy of the legendary golem. Well, the Sea King had never been able to open the door I had, which meant I was the worthy hero that the Sea King's father was hoping for. He revealed that there was no legendary golem, but he did give me the formula I could use to build it. I thanked him, and we waved goodbye to each other. On days 85 to 89, I told Becca about what had happened to me at the Silver Dungeon and how I met the Sea King's father.
Of course! Opening that door meant that you were worthy. That makes so much sense. Still, do you think you have what it takes to build the legendary golem?
I have to try, don't I?
I suppose that's true. I'll give you all the information I know about what the legendary golem is supposed to be like. That way, you can't get it wrong.
Thanks, Becca. On days 90 to 94, I scoured the land for all the materials that I would need to craft the legendary golem. Cobblestone walls, stairs, and blocks were easy. I already had those. But Quicksilver? I went deep in the mountains to find those and finally found a cave with some. Next, I needed to find some lapis lazuli ore, but for that, I'd need Silk Touch. I started asking around if any villagers knew where to get Silk Touch, and luckily found one who did. He threw a Silk Touch book at me, and I used it to enchant my pickaxe so I could mine entire ores of lapis. I then went back to the Sea Palace and snatched it from there. So far, there hadn't been anything too tough, but the block of Ice Dragon Steel was going to be an issue. I went to Tuttle to ask him if he had any more left over, but he said no. Bummer. I asked him if there was any way he could find some more, and he said yes. Not a bummer, but it might take some time. Medium bummer. I was willing to wait though, since this could be the strongest golem ever made. Of course, I didn't want to neglect my own upgrades. With the help of the villagers, I was able to acquire some more enchanted books and give my frosted sword the powerful Freezing 3 enchantment. They told me that in order to use it, I would need to throw it and the frosted sword on top of the anvil, and the magic inside of the enchanted book would transform the sword into a better one. Well, here goes nothing. It worked. The sword leveled up to an iced dragonbone sword with sharpness 10. It even had the ability to completely freeze enemies. And best of all, it looked awesome! Now I had fire and ice on my side. On days 95 to 97, I took some time off from building the golem in order to finish the statue for the base. It was a statue of regular Alex because I wanted to show the villagers that even though I was distorted and an outcast, I was just the same as any other hero. I could feel that the villagers had already accepted me, but I hoped it was still a gesture that meant something to them. But what do you think of the statue? Do you like it? To end the day, I started building the golem. I was so close to being finished. All I was missing now was the block of Ice Dragon Steel. On day 98, the shopkeeper's dog approached me and looked like he wanted to talk.
Hey Zozo, you always say you were an outcast. How come you helped me when we first met?
I guess I just needed a place to belong, and you seemed like you did too.
Well, you've made a really nice place here. I can't wait for the other villagers to come back.
Same. The golem is almost complete, and Crushmore will never know what hit him.
I think it'll hit him, just like all of our friends should hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell.
That's true. It sure does feel great that I can share more of my videos with all of my friends out there. Thanks for your support. On day 99, the turtle woke me up and gave me the block of Ice Dragon Steel. Now I can finish the statue. The legendary golem that I built was finally complete. Even Becca was impressed. It was just like the legend. With the golem by my side, I marched over to Crushmore's redstone mines. We encountered several villagers, but the golem was able to keep them busy while I warped into the mines and freed the rest of the villagers. The most powerful of the villagers, an evoker, tried to stop me. He kept spawning Vex around me and using his Fang spell attack, but luckily, my superior armor protected me and I struck him down with my fire and ice weapons. The villagers were able to escape the redstone mine and run back to the base. That just left one more thing to take care of. Or should I say, Crushmore thing. On day 100, the golem and I started to destroy the redstone mines, and I focused on breaking up the rail tracks and supporting pillars. With all the villagers now home safe, I noticed that some of the redstone piles looked weird. They were shimmering green. I shot a fire arrow at them, and it ignited the redstone and blew the whole place up. That's firepower, baby! But the explosion was so huge that I was almost caught inside. I tried to warp away, and the most amazing thing happened. My warp ability absorbed the explosion and converted it into pure power. As I left the destroyed mine, I saw Crushmore battling the legendary golem.
You thought this hunk of junk could defeat Crushmore? I am more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Using the power of the explosions that my distorted warp had consumed, I grew in size until I was the same as him with 100 hearts. That's when the giant got even bigger and meaner. I didn't even know that was possible. He smashed the golem with a single blow and started coming after me.
Even legends are no match for Crushmore. Now, you will pay for ruining my plans for this world.
I don't think so, Crushmore. Anything you can destroy, I can build back. I am more than a legend. I'm a hero. We battled, but I was faster, and with my ability to shoot fire out of my flaming warp, Crushmore was toast. Literally. But the fight wasn't over yet. We kept battling. I used my warp, which was crazy long now, but Crushmore also had some serious strength and a huge jump height. Even if I tried to warp away to regenerate some health, he was right there with me. With the combination of Ice Sword, Fire Sword, Flaming Arrows, and the Flaming Warp did the trick. After that amazing battle, I fixed up the golem and he came back to life again. We returned to the village where Tuttle, Becca, the shopkeeper, his dog, and all the villagers were waiting for me. Even the Sea King's dad was there. He was happy to see that I was the hero the world needed. This calls for a fireworks display. I may still be able to turn invisible, but now there was no reason for me to hide anymore.